The stampede of blue guard drakes takes the town by force in defense
Sure,
of the
unite!
Skelebobs.
So we're back. Greetings,
Yeah.
friends. So yeah, last week we sort of ended combat that was in progress because we kind of ran out of time. So now we're gonna finish that combat in progress, hopefully quickly, because it's not really the main event here. Okay. It's Talia's turn. There's
Wait, hold
skeletons
on.
everywhere.
I just noticed there's something wrong here, so I'm just gonna do this for you.
What have
There
you
you
done?
go. They weren't in the initiative, and I don't know why.
Oh,
And same with Kai.
Oh,
Kyle's
because you were the initiative. They were yours.
Oh, yep, sounds about right.
Oh fuck, where were you in the initiative? Hang on, I could do that. What's
All
this?
I know is I was like a mile off screen, so
You're coming back.
I'll
It's
see if I
been
can
like 3
find
rounds.
mine.
Oh, dude, Galen did roll an 8 on his initiative. Good news.
Really?
Wow.
Well,
Uh,
Remarkably consistent. I mean, bad, but consistent. That's nice.
all right, cool. Talia's calling lightning. Where is she calling lightning?
Oh, I need battle music, even though I'm not participating.
All right, roll these two first. What's your DC? I should probably actually pull up the fucking character sheet for these things, shouldn't I?
Do you want me to be clicking shit for skeleton?
If you want to. What's the?
Well,
what's...
I'm just if you want me to make it easier on you, I can.
Sure. Okay, you're skeletons right now. Cool. What? Alright, I could just do it. Where is the skeletons? There's the skeletons.
I know.
What's the check?
It's gonna be 3. It's gonna be
Dex? Is that what I heard?
3 dex saves.
Yeah, 3. Okay. Do you want to just do it? Okay,
Oh,
whatever.
never mind. I got it. I'll do it. Oh, 2 of them.
Never
Saves.
mind.
So the
I'm
first
done
one
here.
is the top here. That takes 11 lightning damage. The other 2 take half, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, why does this one have negative 23 health?
They shouldn't. They should have 23 health total.
Let's make that a positive and subtract 5. Okay.
Something happened.
Alright, Shen.
Wait, can Misha attempt to hide in the
sorry.
bushes?
Yeah, make a stealth check for him.
Go get him.
Misha stuff out.
Not a great stealth check. That's fine.
What? Okay, and then I'm like behind this chimney.
Cool. Alright. Oh, I just skipped Shen because I'm.
And I think something happened to Shen before we stopped too, but I don't remember what. Like something bad happened to
He
Shen.
just has 1 round because I dropped.
Oh yeah.
Haste.
Oh, am I just chilling out then?
Sorry, man.
Yeah, you're exhausted for the round.
What does that mean?
Sleepy Shen. He just skips a round of
I
combat.
can't. I think I don't get reactions. I didn't.
No,
remember
you get nothing for a turn.
Which is real bad because these Skelebobs, these 2 are sitting next to you, are gonna just wail on your face.
Come at me, bro.
Well.
Oh.
With advantage. Well, if they move.
No advantage.
That's good.
Take 17.
17 sounds good.
Guys, can you kill these? I need a party to come back to, please.
This boy's gonna come over here and he's gonna search for Misha. That's a perception check. It's not great. So
Oh,
over here,
that doesn't beat it.
Same.
Nope, Misha's super sneaky.
That's an 11. That's
No.
11.
No, Richard, no.
Alright, he spotted him. Oh, there's... Okay, so this one's gonna dash here, and that's his whole turn.
How did he know he was there?
Because the other one raised a skeletal figure and went, ah!
I'm just imagining they actually did like the skeleton noise from Scooby-Doo.
I think this one's gonna try to climb the roof. I'm gonna make an athletics check for him and see how that goes. It went decent. He's there.
These boys have crossbows, yeah?
Oh yeah, short bows, but
Yeah, they do.
Sharp bows.
cool. It is Evelyn's turn. I think.
Run back.
Yeah. Okay, you're on the map. Do what you
Okay.
will.
I'm back on the map. We got plenty of room to do anything.
Come get us, Nodora.
Anything you can do, I can do better.
That's only 55 feet. I still got like 30 movement in my regular move.
Fasty
Let's see.
boy.
Yes. And let's get rid of the Skelly Bob here that's attacking my good buddy who is also asleep. Or not asleep, but exhausted. I'm pretty sure that's it.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Look, Evelyn's picture is broken in the.
Oh yeah, I
By
was
the
cleaning
roll.
out my files and that's probably why.
What have you done? 14.
Because I am
Do the thing. Hey, kills it outright.
He's a dead boy.
Yes, he is. Is
So
he
what does
extra
it
dead
look
now?
like as you slash your katana through a skeleton, just out of curiosity?
I think it's just one of those comical run by decapitation and keep moving because got plenty of things over here.
Cool. All right. Is that your turn?
Yep.
Awesome. Talia.
Misha's gonna bite.
Okay. Hmm.
Dang it, I put it on.
Armor class 13. Nope. Bite doesn't connect. Tail will. So
Bye.
good news. I've just was looking over this wonderful character sheet that Annie's provided me with and realized that they have vulnerability to bludgeoning damage, so that's 10.
Woo!
Yeah, Misha,
Woo-
get him with
woo.
your tail.
I think you just like knock a femur out. And it's just sort of just like standing there on one leg, like hopping about.
Perfect. And then I'm
Oh,
gonna
I-
call it
Okay, cool.
between
Where are you?
the two.
All right, so like here. All right, cool. Yeah. A couple dex saves. Doot. So that's 11 on this top
15.
boy.
That's such a sad call lightning roll.
I rolled the same thing last time.
Ouch.
Yes. The new average. That would be average on 2d10. Alright,
Shush.
cool. What would you like to do? Movement?
I will. I guess. I don't know. I'll stay on the roof. Maybe move back a little. No, I like it here.
Alright. Shen.
I'm a happy boy. All of my moves are bludgeoning.
This is excellent news.
I'm gonna skirt around a little bit and then go ahead and attack.
Mhm.
Huh. Oh, sorry. None of those.
Whoa.
Sorry. Just the first one, please.
Alright, yeah, that hits. Yeah, that had one
Huh.
health hit point left from last week, apparently, so... I think it was just, it was like literally just a stack of bones. Like it was like a foot, femur, like half of the pelvis, part of the spinal column, and like one arm that was swinging at you, and you just sort of poked and it exploded.
Okay.
You describe that now. I'm just imagining a skeleton version of Mike Wazowski from Monsters Inc.
I was thinking like tall and thin, just like it had like
Okay,
all its vertical elements.
I see.
And then I think I'll just turn around and shoot the one.
Shoot it. Okay,
Hopefully once.
that's a hit.
That'll be it for me.
Why do these things not have resistance to piercing damage? Out of curiosity.
I think they do. Hold on.
It's not on your character sheet.
Yeah, you're right. I feel like
Alright, it's not there.
vulnerabilities, bludgeoning, immunity, poison. Nope, they don't.
I don't want to really drag this out by throwing in that in, so let's just keep moving here. This boy's gonna come over here and try to wallop you. Talia. Talia.
Okay.
It did a real bad job.
That's so high for a crit failure.
Yeah. It swings at you and kind of like starts up and like it falls but catches itself on the railing there, so it's just sort of dangling from the roof. And that's what I'm gonna go with. This one's gonna rotate up here, take a swing at you. That's not gonna do it. So I'm just gonna come in and establish flanking and take this swing with advantage. 19. I don't remember what your arm class is. Evelyn?
19, you say?
Yes.
I believe is a hit.
Cool. Take 6 piercing damage.
That sounds like a 3. That's also a hit.
Well, that one's on Misha.
Oh, I think that's also a hit.
7.
Okay.
Evelyn.
Hmm. I don't like this guy. He's not looking nice.
Okay,
I mean, he's a skeleton also, so that's maybe something to do with it.
that's a hit.
Okay. And only 15 this
15.
time around.
No sneak attack. He's still standing.
No.
But again, he's down to like just like a couple bones that are barely grasping a sword. Talia.
Yeah, I got nothing else I really care to do at this point in time.
Okay.
So we call it there.
I'm gonna give a dex saving throw for the bottom one. He saves. The second one, I'm gonna give disadvantage because he's dangling from a roof. That's a critical fail. Yeah. Hey, he explodes. Like the lightning, strikes the one that's dangling from the roof, and like literally it just like the heat from the lightning blast just sort of cracks the bones, and he sort of crumples to nothing.
Oh, cool. Is his hand still on the bar on the roof?
No. Well, yes, he's got like a couple like just like the fingers grasping it.
Sweet.
The other
Grasp
one
it.
dives out of the way, but not before taking fatal damage. He's dead too.
He's
Yeah.
gonna
So
bite it again.
this is gonna just munch on the bones.
Yeah. He's got like one bone like a dog.
Okay. I mean, he could do something useful, but that's fine too.
Who needs to be useful?
And then he'll go and can he flank this?
We should go fast.
He'll do that.
It's gonna be a tail boy. Is it just the tail attack?
Yeah, we'll just do the tail.
All right. Roll some damage on that. Looks like
4.
8. Yeah. He just comes over, swings the tail, and it just again just sort of like comically wipes the like a tibia out from under the skeleton, and it just falls into a pile on the floor.
Go, Misha, go.
Cool. And it is Shen's turn. And there's one
Uh,
Skellbob.
I'm gonna go run up the last Skelebaub and hit him with my.
Good thing you
I'm
have
gonna try it
advantage.
again.
That's advantage, dude. You got it.
How's the Skelly feeling?
He's not feeling like anything. That's what he's feeling like. Okay. Success.
Yay.
So that's good news. Alright. Let's sort of break into role playing here. Your burb has left the roost, so to speak.
He's formed a coop.
Yes. These are all funny puns because he can't fly.
Burn.
How are we all feeling?
Exhausted
I
and probably pretty crappy and upset.
could have shot him if he didn't have magic.
I'm gonna stand on the rooftop with lightning still kind of crackling around me, look down at Shen, and say, "Did you know about this? You came with."
No, of course not.
We believe you.
I vouch for him. We climbed a tower together and killed half of it.
That was funny.
Thanks, Evan. I appreciate it. Remember that time I teleported him down to the base of the tower? See?
Yep, and remember the time you didn't kill everyone else when I was getting the skeletons back? That was fun.
I think so.
All right. I'm gonna kind of fast forward us back towards Waterdeep, just so we can. We want to wrap this thing soon, and we've got some stuff cooking for the finale, which may or may not be good, but
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Can we sleep during this fast forward?
absolutely, it takes days, probably weeks
No.
to get back, actually, because that's how fucking D&D works.
Then I'd
Uh,
appreciate sleeping.
yes.
No, you can't. It's not allowed.
All the residents of the town are very thankful that you've rid the town of the Blue Dragon and the army of skeletons. We're gonna wipe the shit out of everyone.
Yes, ridden of the dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Something we totally did.
While we are traveling, I would like to cast Dream.
Stream? Whoa! Oh, dream.
Dream.
Cool. Okay, that's a block of text. Let's start reading this.
Sorry.
The spell
You can
change.
go like halfway down and then it gets to damage, which we don't need to concern ourselves with.
Stay put in existence. Check. You can't cast this on Evelyn. Who are you casting this on?
I was going to cast it on Misha to go into Giovanni's dreams.
Whoa.
Intriguing.
Okay.
Are
What is
you just
Giovanni
using...
dreaming about? Where's the target? Does it say what the target can be? The target is this.
Oh, I form it.
I'm sorry. I'm catching up here.
Yeah, no worries. It's a lot.
A creature known to you as a target. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, you can choose Giovanni. You know him. He's probably on the Celdus plane of existence. Probably.
No, man, he did.
I mean, he could be taking an
Hopefully.
excursion in like
Hopefully he's
plane of
dead.
fire or some other shit. Did anyone move
Hopefully
that rod
he's
around?
dead. Thanks.
Okay. Acting the messenger while the messenger is aware of his research. Target sleep, messenger appears, and target streams converse with the target as long as it remains asleep. Through the duration of the spell, the messenger can also shape the environment of the dream. Blah, 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 blah. The target recalls the dream purposely upon waking. Alright, so yes. You cast Dream, and you use Misha as the messenger, which is an interesting choice, but cool. And Misha can confirm, in fact, that Giovanni is asleep. Would you like to enter his dreams?
Yeah.
What does Misha communicate to Giovanni in his dreams? What environment does Misha form for this?
What do you mean? Oh, environment?
Yeah.
mm,
What's this dream look like?
It's in
Ah,
like that galaxy hallway that we were in earlier. Oh, no, he's shaking his head. It's in a forest where there's like some elk trotting by, and Misha's in the middle, and he says, "We need help. Meet us in Waterdeep." And then he turns into a lot of sparkles.
dope. All right. What does Giovanni think of this dream?
It's interesting.
All
Call
right.
to resummon the heroes to seal away Tiamat. I guess it's time.
And with
I will
that,
also send
oh,
a similar dream to Ratzael and Virtus on separate nights.
okay. And we can talk about how those streams go in a little bit. Um, they both take that um, the message and nod. And the dream ends.
Sounds
And
good.
with that, we're gonna sort of make our way back to Waterdeep. So I'm just gonna throw everyone back on the big old map of the Sword Coast, since that's a convenient way to do things. Where there's still garbage all over it. But I'm not gonna bother with all that. All right, so you guys make your way back towards Waterdeep. It takes a few weeks. Everyone heals up. I'm gonna give you the fast version. You guys are gonna be level 14 at the end of this. That's
14.
14.
I'm
Well,
10
shit.
right now.
Suddenly, Giovanni's super underpowered. Holy
Well,
fuck!
to be fair,
See how you like it?
Giovanni's gonna get a level up too. He's 12 or is he 13?
12.
Oh,
Holy crap!
Yeah, I'm down to jump 4 levels. Let's
I
do
was
it.
gonna say, aren't you guys at level 10?
here's the
Yeah.
Holy
thing.
cow.
From everything you've just done, you're going to level to you would level to at least 11, and it really should be 12. There's some other combat like it. This book requires you to use level stone miling. 1 and 2 of the chapters are broken up weird, which makes it weird to do level stone miling on those things, or like leveling on those things.
Right.
I said, did I say level stone miling?
You said
It's
level stone, but I know you
yes.
meant combat based.
Yeah. Well,
Or
yes.
experience based.
Yeah, because there's a lot of stuff here that's advancement that isn't combat. Actually, assigning XP doesn't make sense because it's weird. Like you guys gain a level for completing the Council of Waterdeep, which takes place over 4 sessions. You gain a level for rebuffing cultist attacks, which takes place whenever the hell I want them to. And you gain a level for what you're going to do. Well, you're going to do next, even if you decide not to do it. So that's kind of the weird thing that
That is
happens.
weird.
Yeah, it's really strange because like at the beginning of Horror of the Dragon Queen, it's like, oh yeah, you could totally use milestone leveling, or you could just use actual XP. And then like when you go to the second half of that same adventure, it goes, yeah, you should be milestone leveling people. And I'm like,
That's dumb. That's dumb.
yeah.
Especially, I'm still hung up on the fact it's like, oh, if you don't do this, you still gain a level. It's like, so if by that logic we just stayed at random town cutting wood for the rest of our lives, we'd be level 50.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's not good logic.
No, it's
I'm
not.
gonna leave it at that.
That's
But
weak. But
oh, I never actually grabbed that book off my bookshelf, and that's kind of important, seeing as how it has the fucking adventure in it. So, one moment, please.
right now, I'm looking at what I get in these next 4 levels. Oh, good
Jeez.
lord. I get another ASI, which means I could do another feat and just keep being faster. Actually, I don't think there's any more that give me more speed. But,
Maybe you can fly. Show off to the burb when you meet him again.
hey, Andy. How do you like sneak attack doing 7d6?
That's fine. I'm more pissed off that every risk I took with a deck of many things is completely invalidated by random levels from a fucking adventure. Like,
Yeah,
that seems so fucking dumb.
We're not gonna do that again. We're gonna put it that way, just for the record. Because I don't like it. Like
No, I think we're all agreeing here.
I fully support advancement in forms other than fighting things, but
Oh, yeah.
no, I don't like the way it handled it here. So
Yeah.
A
I mean,
4-level jump is just nuts.
you guys are actually going to be like, yeah, well,
I mean, we
keep
were
in mind,
supposed to be
I
higher
haven't
level.
been like, you guys fought a lot of shit over this last adventure, and like over the last chapter, and like a lot of that I haven't even totaled up all the XP, but it would have been a lot, and it might have been enough to push you at least up 1 and possibly straight up 2. So it's very weird, and like I said, the XP hasn't been working out right. Like you haven't been getting enough throughout.
Mm-hmm.
So that's yeah. This is I'm solving the problem by making decree.
Okay.
That's not a good way to do it, but
Nah, I'm just
you know,
gonna cut it here. TLDR.
I'm just trying to get us
book
there,
worked
guys. You know.
Book worked it. We're fixing it. It's good.
So with that in mind, you guys make your way back to Waterdeep. As you do, we're gonna. They call it, a small council session of the councils to to sort of go over what happened there. Uh, Before you get there, some of you may recall that a tiefling warlock um, joined the council during its last meeting. Didn't really introduce herself, but was just sort of sitting next to Lady Silverhand during the last meeting. Um, she approaches you before you enter the council room.
Is it
What's that?
Ryan Nightshade?
Yes, Rian Nightshade. She approaches you and she says, "You've returned from Zontal's tower. Were you successful?"
Oh shoot, what do we go there for?
The mask.
In a way,
Who had the mask?
Well, actually, the
Galen
opposite.
did.
Okay.
we succeeded.
No, we didn't. Let's move on.
She says, "But you have taken control of the tower, yes?"
I guess it's empty.
Yes.
And she's like, "Well, that's fine. For my purposes, that'll be just fine. Xanthos Tower is a powerful artifact. It's valuable to whoever has it. I would be interested in making sure that the people who have it is me and my group. Um, so, with that in mind, I would like to purchase it from you, since you guys have it by right of conquest."
Is that how that works?
It is.
Yeah, that is
You
exactly how things work.
you have conquered the tower. You have entered it, which is no one has done in over a century. You've cleared it out. It is by all rights yours. Um, but
What is your group?
that would be the Zentarum. Was that unclear? I thought that, I mean, I know it wasn't explicitly stated, but that, yes, Zentarum.
Could we have a minute to discuss this alone?
Oh, absolutely. Just I'm just gonna put this out there. My opening offer is 50,000 gold pieces. Um, if you were so inclined and helped push you see, the council hasn't yet decided whether or not they're going to hire my group to participate in your assault on Tiamat's um, on the Well of Dragons, where they're trying to resurrect Tiamat. If you could help successfully negotiate um, us getting hired for that gig, we can arrange a kickback of sorts where I would be more than happy to up my offer on Zontal's tower. So up to you. Um, I'm not sure how valuable the tower is to you. It Anyone who you decided to give it to would be very happy, but this is a world where we look out for ourselves first, and I would like to make sure that you're well taken care of, and you get something instead of nothing for your trouble. But no, feel free to mull that over. I believe the council's beginning to meet soon, so we should probably rally there. Um, and she sort of turns off, and moves towards the council rooms.
I vote no.
Uh, who is her group? Like, what are they? What
Um,
is their? Where do they fit in?
she represents the Zentarum,
You
which
know the Assassin's Guild from Skyrim?
Sure, I
That.
know what assassins are.
well, no, worse than that. It's systematic. It's not even just like they're they do all sorts of things from it's a combination like of like the Thieves Guild and the Black Hand and um you know um typically what normal people would refer to as evil mercenaries. They do all sorts of shady stuff, but they're invested here in the sense that, well, they've made a great fortune doing their shady shit in this particular society, and they would like that particular society to continue to exist. That way, they continue doing their shady shit as they've always done. Um,
Huh.
and if the world was overrun by dragons, that might be a bad thing for them as well. But yeah, conventional wisdom would say that they're not good guys.
Conventional wisdom says if we sell this to a wizard who would be able to make better use of it, we could probably squeeze more out of them.
I'd say, yeah, I'd be fine with taking their coin, but not necessarily letting them have access to something so powerful.
Oh, Misha voted
Wizards.
no too.
All right.
I am holding on to the deed, which is actually just that hourglass.
Oh
By
yeah.
the way, it is because that's the
Oh.
only way to get down to the lower chambers.
Yep.
Which is where the interesting shit is, anyways. So.
Okay. I think I agree with you. Was it Evelyn who said that we should sell to, and perhaps in exchange for it, aside from coin, maybe have them make us some interesting artifacts or something that could help us in our.
Yeah, I think we're all at least agreeing here. Don't sell to these schmucks.
Yeah.
All right, that's fine. We can sort of actually resolve that in a little bit. That being said, moving forward, you round the corner into the council room, and standing next to the doorway is a familiar face. Giovanni Viviani is there waiting for you.
Gee, and I run up and give him a big hug.
It's been a while, everyone. Talia.
Misha licks his hand.
Seems you all fare well.
Not dead. Can't complain.
Always a plus. Another political party, I see.
Can't get away from them.
Giovanni,
Yes.
this is Shen, and we did some dumb things, but we're gonna make it right, and we still got lots of dragons to kill, so I hope you'll
And a
help
bird.
us.
Yeah.
And
Here
a
for a
bird.
reason.
Evelyn has a new arch nemesis.
Yeah.
Intriguing.
The bird.
And who is this? The burb.
Oh, you don't know? I thought it was common knowledge that everyone knew about the bird.
Oh God,
The
no, we're
bird
not
that's the
doing
word.
this. We're not. I'm putting a hard stop on bird is the word. We're not doing that. Incorrect.
Man, Richard, even I got that before you.
I gave him the benefit of the doubt for a moment that he was just doing this weird thing where you had to metagame your knowledge about your own character, but no, that's. We're not doing that.
Shen, a pleasure. Where do you hail from?
Small island where they make wine and warrior.
Wine, you say? Something I can definitely appreciate. We'll have to discuss farther sometime.
Sure.
Okay.
Well, for the lot of us, shall we go sit our way through yet another boring political meeting in which they try to delegate our every action? Either that, or we could all go off to some nice island together and ignore the remainder of this continent.
Do they have wine?
Oh, trust me, I know my way around wine. Wine fit for dragons, you could say.
Yeah, that was a waste. We should have killed him.
I think we did.
No, I don't.
Glass
believe
Hale? He still runs freely along the north. Saw him less than a month ago.
I don't think that was Glass Hill in the castle.
No.
We should have killed him before you gave
Was
him
it?
the wine. There.
I don't remember.
Perhaps.
Okay. Anyways, this Lady Silverhand comes in and sort of calls order to this. Says, okay, this isn't. Let's make this quick. I understand our adventurers are fresh in from Zonthel's tower. have you brought back what the have you brought back the defector?
Sadly, no.
He is no longer a
He's
problem.
What was that, Talia?
He's dead.
Ah, unfortunate. I suppose his mask is lost with him.
I think the answer to that is a resounding for now.
Uh, as they say that, Romelia Haventree kind of pipes up and says, "Well, if it makes you feel any better, it was probably fake. Uh, our spies from our spies within the cultist camp seem to suggest that the blue dragon nest is successfully secured within the well of dragons. Anyways, we've only got this news after you left." And you actually, you guys could sort of see Rianne Nightshade sitting next to Lady Silverhand, kind of nodding along with this, as in agreement. Um, says, "Well, you still laid claim to Zonthal's tower. We have heard that report. Good number of resources there. Someone could put great use to that. But we have other grim matters to discuss, and you can see a number of the folks at the table sort of like squirm uncomfortably at the idea of this. And Lady Silverhand comes up and says, "What comes next is a risk, to be sure. Um, we've received a diplomat from Thay who wishes to speak with you. With, um, um, and she gestures to the five of you now, or the four of you, um,
And Misha.
and Misha. Excuse me. Um, so they've heard stories of your conquests. They they're willing to bargain um, to um, to put an end to this threat. They don't approve of the Red Wizards who have parted ways with um, with their group to come operate in the Sword Coast for the Cult of the Dragon. They would very much like to hunt them down, put an end to it, um, and they're willing to bargain with you to make that happen. Um, we're split on this. Well, many of us, all of us, can agree that having a detachment of Thayans on our side could certainly give us some much needed firepower against this threat. They are a risk, and while some of us feel that it's a risk worth taking to have them on our side, others of us uh, would suggest that it's madness to even consider working with these folks. And you can sort of see oh shoot, what's his name? Just a moment. I've forgotten who's running the Order of the Gauntlet. You can see Anthar
Anthar
Froome.
Froome.
Yeah, you can see him sort of like cough and say, like, he kind of scoffs as his mild discomfort, to say the least. He seems almost glowering at the idea of negotiating with Thay. But you can also sort of see uh, um, Winterhound. What's his name? Shit, I don't remember anyone's name. Yes, Delwyn Winterhound, sort of nodding in agreement with this, along with who else is this? Where do all these minuses go to? The Dwarven Ambassador and Alder Ravengard and Sir Isteval are all. They seem generally displeased with the idea of negotiating with Thay. Says, what's that?
What do we know, just in general? What would people know about the Red Wizards of Thay?
You know that Thay is a place where a lich rules over the land. It is a land of death and necromancy. The people who are heads of state in Thay are what most people would call abominations of sorts. They employ vampires to be head of states in Thay. Other, such evil aligned, what people would call evil aligned monsters have a place in Thay. Um, and yes, the Red Wizards are renowned. Some of the Red Wizards did not support the ascension of Saz Tam, the Lich who runs Thay, and many fled Thay upon his ascension. But um, it was kind of there was a civil war there, and it's a place where undead walk freely. Um, and most, it's not a tourist destination to be sure.
Who supports this notion?
Um, you see Rumelia Haventree sort of speak up and say, "Well, we could use all the firepower we can get here." And Lord Nevermember nods in agreement, as does King Melindratch and Terran Hornblade, who's the representative from Silvery Moon. They all agree that um, they possess powerful magic that would certainly be an asset during this large assault.
Hmm.
King Melindratch, Lord Nevermember, you're both excellent tacticians in your own right. Let me ask you, if you were to be deploying your armies overseas in a land faced with turmoil, would you not think that it may be for your own selfish gain at some point? You think not that the Red Wizards of Thay know very well what they're doing, and perhaps in the turmoil presented to Faerun, they may have an ulterior motive?
I think Lord Nevermember speaks up first and says, "Oh, I am certain they have an ulterior motive. Um, but that does not mean that they are not useful still."
Agreed. At what cost do we bring these people into the Sword Coast? Are we willing to pay the price for their support against Tiamat?
And Ontharr Froom sort of because I I wholeheartedly agree that certainly that if we invite evil into our lands, it will tarnish the lands. And you sort of see, like Lady for instance, Ontharr, your point, your your protest is well noted. We should do. I simply think we should take whatever measures are possible to prevent a god being resurrected from the Nine Hells and laying waste to what we call home.
Now, Onthar, to be fair, we've already enlisted the help of dragons, to my understanding, those of which could be as equally unpredictable as undead. So, once again, I ask at what cost and what reward? Where do we draw the line of sealing away Tiamat? What evils are we willing to invoke?
This is a decision we leave on you. Um, we are fairly split on whether we all agree this is a great risk. We are split on whether that risk is worth it or not. And frankly, they made it quite clear that they will not accept another diplomat. It is your party who they will deal with as representatives. If you choose to go, you may go. If you choose not to go, we understand.
I love how it's Well of Dragons plus Bad Burb now. I just noticed that.
What's that? Oh, I I switched to a different screen. Have you guys just been making garbage all over my map some more?
Pretty much.
I think Mustache Island it's not garbage at all.
I mean,
What are you guys
I
doing?
liked my drawing of Wrath on a Raz on a progenitor, but okay.
I didn't even see that one. Where's that?
I mean,
You deleted that one
that was
forever
a while
ago.
ago. I liked that one, and
I'm sorry.
uh,
If it makes you feel
there's-
better, we'll do a game where you can draw more shit on the map later.
Yay!
Specifically, you have to.
Oh,
Thank you.
Sounds like work.
yeah.
Mhm.
Now that I have to, I don't wanna.
I saw that coming too.
Well, I say no. I've had enough of necromancers and random people coming into this fight. We don't need.
What do you mean you've had enough of necromancers? What have I missed in the time I've been
A bird.
A necromancer.
related to these You dealt with necromancy.
That's what we were saying.
And how did that result for you?
I shot him a couple times.
Satisfying, I'm sure.
He got away with
Dead?
the mask.
Away.
He was far away. I
Fake
couldn't
mask.
see.
We tricked him.
That's
Yep.
promising
calculated.
at least.
You got him.
Can I ask the
So-
council?
You can ask council whatever you want.
Sorry. With the earlier news that there's the real mask is within the Dragon's Keep already,
Mhm.
or in where was?
It's there. It's at their base.
Oh, how do they know that that's the real one, not the one that was at the?
They don't. I'm gonna break the immersion here for a second. And say if you guys successfully brought that mask back, it would take them like a day to be like, oh, this thing's a piece of shit and doesn't actually do anything. uh, but
I think
so-
that I saved us from a giant bout of disappointment.
yeah. So I mean, regardless of which one was real, that other blue dragon mask did leave on the back of a blue dragon on its way back to fucking Willow Dragon. So guess what? It's there one way or another.
Yeah, that was my thought.
Mm-hmm.
Got him.
Well, that's my vote, and I'll just lean back and watch.
I'm with you. No necromancy for me. All done.
Evelyn,
I mean, the dead stay dead, right?
I do have one bit of concern.
What's up?
If the undead of Thay were to be interested in some activity in favoring, they may be appearing with or without our approval. Denying their assistance may prove to be more detrimental.
A fair point. Lord Nevermember says, I've made such argument.
What have they pledged in their support? Are we aware of the troops that they'll be marching on to our coast?
Oh, they're gonna send a detachment of their own red wizards, to hunt down and destroy their defectors.
It indeed sounds to me like they'll be doing so, whether or not we approve them. As much as I hate to admit it, and I kind of give a snide remark or glare to Surus.
Well, if they're coming one way or the other, then we may as well just have them be on side so we know what's going on. And if we don't like it, we just deal with it then.
I agree. Perhaps keeping your enemies close may come to our benefit.
I mean, they kind of everyone sort of pipes up, and despite the fact that there's definitely disagreement here, they say you could always hear them out. Oh my god, it's loud here.
Which
Or we
also,
could not.
I agree, which may also come with some unintended side effect. It appears that our vote is split 2 and 2.
Well, I mean, this
Well,
is
Misha
it, guys.
voted no.
What are we doing? Are you guys gonna go meet with their representative or not? Because that's
I
kind of
think
going
we
to
may as
determine what
well.
happens for the rest of the session.
I think we may as well, because otherwise they're just there and we're like, well, what do we do now?
I believe it would be better to keep an eye on our adversaries than rather let them run along our coast unsupervised.
I can agree to that, but what if we go down there and list that as a condition and it isn't met? Then what? Then we're in the heart of a scary place with people that, we're kind of obliged to agree with.
As disinclined as I am to say you're wrong, the fact of the matter is the threat of Tiamat looming over the Sword Coast is less of a concern to me than a lich, albeit I thought I'd never be saying such a remark.
I see no point in meeting with them.
I'm against it as well. So,
Evan, I'll leave it to you.
Mm,
Although, the price of documenting. Perhaps I would enjoy going. The landscape and the scenery may be lucrative in one way or another.
seems
So
like
wait, they're not already here talking to these guys?
We have
We'd
a
have to go to
representative
their
who.
Lich Infest
There's
thing.
a representative here who has access to teleportation spells to get you guys there and back very quickly to meet
all
with
right, I'm
the
down.
governor.
To be honest, I just didn't want to go on a boat again.
That's fair.
All right, so sounds like it's 3-1 now.
This means we will not be traveling through the landscapes. I disagree. I think this trip is worth. Do as you will. A lot of you have had more experience recently. It's acceptable.
I'm just gonna say whether you guys do this or not, I have what the rest of the session is going to be, but we should make a decision.
Let's go, I guess.
Okay,
All right, we're doing this.
we're doing it.
Sorry,
Cool.
Talia. And Misha.
All right. Let's see here.
Mostly Misha.
Chapter 8. Mission to Thay. Okay. With that in mind, um, the council sort of nods and Lady Silverancer says, "Okay, bring in the diplomat." And someone runs off and grabs, runs off to grab someone from a different part of the keep. A few minutes later, a a person in red robes appears in the room following the individual who was sent off to retrieve the diplomat. And Rian Nightshade sort of steps up and says, "This is Nye Ilmich." Throw that in chat so you have it. That's their name. They will be escorting you to the in and out of Thay. They sort of step and say, yes, I'm ready to leave as soon as you lot are. just need a moment to collect my things, and they kind of peel off to do that. As I do, Remelia Raventree kind of like comes over to you and says, "Listen, this is a very dangerous thing you're undergoing. Um, my recommendations to you are to make sure you always refer to um, to whoever you're negotiating with by title. They are very particular with these kind of things. Um, they uh, hang on. Let's see here.
We're going to cause an international incident, aren't we?
Probably.
Does anyone remember where the deck of many things is?
I
I thought
think.
you had it.
I don't have it. I was never given it. I don't think.
Um.
I think Vaughn might have it. Yeah.
No, he handed it off to someone before he left.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he handed it off to you.
yeah, I'm 90% certain it was you.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Remelia is just like, if you're ever speaking to someone of importance, refer to them differentially and by title, never by name, or um, or expect your reception to be cold. Um, they're obsessed with magic over there. Anyone who can do magic, it might be a good idea to show it off there. Um, it's a shame that our necromancer has broken with the group because he actually might have been quite an asset uh, during these negotiations.
A necromancer is no asset to any negotiations. They're
Oh, it
nothing but
is with
trouble.
they, but I can't help but agree with you for the most part. Um,
You
be
could not
safe.
have told us this before we agreed to go.
One may think that you wouldn't need to consider the aid of a necromancer in a time of the resurrection of Tiamat.
Considering that, I was talking about how dangerous it is and how we shouldn't go because I'm the only magic user and I don't want to do magic for them just to
I
show
do
off
magic.
for
You don't
people
have
we
to.
don't want to align.
I,
You
I,
know.
I do them.
Okay, Evelyn, you are the top magic user. You get it.
Cool. I'll show them how to use fire in bolt.
That'll show 'em.
So
Okay.
I'm sure they've never seen that before.
Uh, not Nai. Nai seems right. Does anyone have a different alternate pronunciation of that?
That makes sense to me.
Nai
Nah.
reaches the room carrying this up and says, "Okay, well, I am ready to proceed whenever you folks are. We will be going to Neathwatch Keep. Um, I need to. I already have the teleportation circle mostly prepared. Just have to put the finishing touches on. You guys ready?
Surely.
Let's get this over with.
So Nai leads you out. She leads you towards the teleportation circle that she already has prepared. Finishes it up, and it flashes, and you're teleported. Um, and as you arrive, he says, "Welcome to Neathwath Sheep. You you are under the protection of Tharkion Seldra Yeath. Um, she's wonderful and just Tharkion. She'll take good care of you. Um, she kind of. I'll lead you to your rooms. The Tharkion can't meet now, but we can get you settled in for the evening. Um, we can give you some good food, and we will be sure to have you well taken care of and ready for negotiations in the near future. The Tharkion will be ready shortly, and the she leads you each to your own rooms. It's all just like down one hallway. Um, she gives you, the four of you each your own room. They are luxurious rooms, well furnished, very comfortable. No locks on the doors though. Um, you notice that like some servants show up to like sort of make sure like help you carry your bags and stuff. They are all undead. Some of them are skeletons, others are zombies or various stages of undead. He says, "Yes, we'll be meeting for dinner shortly. Uh, please take your time to get settled in."
Thank you for your hospitality. It is well received and much appreciated.
Yep. She says, "Of course." And she gives you a bow, and she says, "I'll alert the Tharkion at once." So yeah, she sort of peels off. What do you guys do during your time?
What type of what's can you describe the building we're in? Like what do we see?
Oh, it's stone. Like it's stone everywhere. You pass some building or some windows. You saw outside. Like, you see like an arid, like windswept landscape. Um, it's dark. The skies it's just cloudy. You know it's kind of based on the time you left that it's still kind of like late afternoon, early evening, but it seems like much later than that. It's covered in clouds. There's lightning. It's just it sort of just seems just generally a very dark sort of color palette. Um, you see undead tilling fields outside the keep. Um, it's you don't see a lot of life here.
Sounds like your stereotypical horror house haunted mansion sort of deal, except a country.
Yeah, kind of. That's what they is.
No, I'm just going based off what just saying what your description sums up.
Mhm.
And yeah, so okay.
Well, Tharkion and Justrion, what?
Was that
You said they would alert Tharkion and Justrion something.
Tharkion is the title?
The position. Yeah.
Eseldra Yeath. I'll here. I will.
It's probably got like 6 Q's in it.
Yeah, pretty much.
There's actually no cues.
I also do need to go over something with you
What's that?
in a moment. I need to review who drew what in the deck of many things at some point. Um, Also, because as a reminder, somewhere in the universe, a powerful devil has become my enemy
Oh,
who seeks to destroy me at some point. I think I
that's
drew that one,
fine. That's fine. We'll sort that out.
but
There's probably
yeah,
not going to be one waiting for you at the Well of Dragons or anything. That's cool.
Oh my god.
at some point, I just need to know who drew what so we know what we have
I'll
left.
sort that out. I don't
Okay.
have that immediately available.
God, I don't know if I got that one or the one that's an avatar of death. No, maybe we didn't
no
get
one
that
got
one.
that one. I would have remembered.
No one got that one.
No one got that one. No one got Void. I don't think anyone got the ASI. I got Sun. I don't know. We'll go over it, but I do want to know what we have left at some point.
Giovanni's the reason that Tiamat is coming here. That's the devil that he has to fight.
Yes.
That'd be wicked. Rip
Um,
Giovanni.
So after I do want to get like a brief snapshot of how everyone's feeling here. How are you guys receiving your accommodations here? You've sort of just been left to your own devices in this room for probably about a half an hour. What do you do at that time?
I browsed the shelves, considering what the culture here may be like. It seems that they treat us with a good quality of hospitality, and I see no reason to say show them otherwise.
Um, yeah, I mean, there's like knickknacks and stuff on like. There's certainly like like skulls, like bones and death, or skulls are kind of like the predominant like it's the folk art they make here. Those are what the knickknacks look like. Like that's like the classy it's like a skull candle sitting on top of a doily. It's very strange.
Are there any paintings?
Yes. Some you see some they seem to be you see several of a woman um who looks who has the appearance of a vampire. These are like portrait styles, in ornate robes and stuff. Uh, you see others glorifying, you know, liches. Some and just you see um, paintings of red wizards commanding groups of of undead. Um, it seems very it seems very nationalistic in its own way. Like these are almost like propaganda posters showing the might of Thay.
And about just how high are we in this building? Are we top of the floor? Is it like 300-foot drop? What are we looking at here? We said you could see out the windows and everything.
I mean, it's off the ground, it's elevated, but like not high. Like it's kind of like positioned at the top of a hill. Like if you like jumped out the window right now, you would like tumble down a hill. You wouldn't fall like an infinite distance. It's not like set
Mm.
on top of a. It's not like it's not like the.
It's not on top of a craggy
Yeah,
peak.
it's not. It's not like this fucking thing that's out in the middle of nowhere on top of like a spire. Like,
Right.
um,
It's a functional castle, not one that's meant to look cool.
oh yeah, absolutely.
Talia, Evelyn,
Mm.
do either of you remember one of the adversaries belonging to the cult of the dragon, Rathmodar? Does that not strike you as a parallel to what we're seeing here?
Hmm.
Wrath is part of the cult of the dragon. I'd like to.
Aye,
Okay,
one
that's.
who wears red cloaks, floating about looking fairly undead himself.
I mean, I have his cloak. What, do you want it?
You do?
I do.
Did we slay him?
Let me go through because I'm pretty sure.
Was he one of the ones in
Yep. Yep, I have
in
rats. He was
You
in the
encountered him in
castle.
Skyreach Castle.
perhaps he's the defector of which they were concerned?
Well, if so, then
Perhaps.
we've dealt with him.
Indeed. Speaking of which, Talia and Evelyn, at some point I do have business to discuss with the both of you. Something which I may or may not have forgotten accidentally before departing last. We can settle it at some other time, though. Just remind me.
Okay. And you thought me collecting everyone's robes was a stupid idea.
Collecting, no, perhaps carrying at every beck and whim. Perhaps. Regardless, it will once again may prove to be beneficial. He says, considering the fact that he, for some reason, is carrying both Mondath's halberd and Landergosa's spear in his backpack. Stupid game we're playing.
He just folded them up.
Pretty much. I feel like I also have. Oh no, I think Ratsael like scalped Landergosa's horn. To be fair, I still have the names of our horses too.
Oh my god, you guys had horses. That was so long time ago.
That was so long ago.
That was like an actual year ago.
Whatever happened
I
to them?
We left them.
You
Here.
guys gonna come back to the stables one day and go, oh no.
No, I think we left them right here outside of Elturel on the river.
Right.
Seems fine.
Muriel. Muriel was the best horse ever.
Okay. Yeah. Do you guys have anything else you want to do here? Or I'm gonna
What's
push
the
this
landscape here?
up arid, dark, undead just sort of shambling around. It's
Okay,
Tuesday.
I hate it here.
Basically, Sauron's tower.
I feel sick the whole time and just stay in my room by the fire.
There are no
with
trees.
Misha. Yeah, I figured. I hate it here.
Are there cactuses? They're like the trees of the desert.
There are no cactuses.
There are no trees. There are no cactuses.
There's just a general lack of nature.
Only Zool.
Indeed. Okay, so after that time, you're kind of like you're brought to like a feast table. There's food laid out. They invite you to sit down for dinner. Um, and they sort of just leave you to your own devices there for a little bit, and then you're kind of summoned the into the audience chamber. Uh, let's see. Sitting on the audience table is um, surrounded by you have it just says 5 guards posted up on each side of this throne, and a set of 5 whites. Um, five was 10 wizards, 5 posted up on each side of the throne, and 5 whites standing between you and this throne. Um, you're ushered into this meeting chamber, and the whites sort of clear to the side, so you can have a clear view of the person sitting on the throne, which is a woman. She seems middle-aged-ish, um, but still somewhat radiant, sitting in there, sitting on her throne with some heavily embellished red robes, and she speaks. Um, actually, no, she's reading a scroll when you walk in. She's kind of just like this, looks, kind of looks down the scroll, looks up at each of you. Down the scroll, looks up at each of you, moving left to right, and says, and kind of just hands the scroll to one of the wizards on the side and dismisses it. And she says, and she addresses you. We find ourselves bound in common cause against common enemies. Those who sought to destroy us in ages past now seek to destroy you. Our thirst for vengeance is strong, as is your thirst for continued life. Our enemy has become your enemy. We know their weaknesses, we know the ways of destroying them forever, without destroying their usefulness. You have the opportunity to discover their hiding places in your struggle against the cult allies. Together, we can remove them as a threat to us both. Our agent, Nye Ilmich, will return with you to your city of Waterdeep. They are to serve as our liaison to your council. What you learn of the enemy, she will relay to us by means of our own. You need only find the enemy, we will deal with them, as is our custom. I am authorized by our eternal master, Saz Tam, to say these things, for I act in his name. And she stops, and she seems to be awaiting response.
Do any of us realize who she is?
Oh, this is Tharkion, who I just said her name.
Elseldra, yes.
Yes. Tharkion's like the title they give to like regional governors in Thay.
Okay. Uh,
Tharkion, if I may ask a question.
have a common
Your
cause. Oh,
interest in Tiamat, I understand from a past threat, but now that they threaten the Sword Coast, you wish to strike out of vengeance or out of convenience? Or perhaps both would be fair.
Our interests are our own. All you need know is that we will destroy those of us, those that would threaten you now.
And you're unaware of the location of which they plan to resummon Tiamat. Is that, to my understanding, is that correct?
We have good idea of where they are. We require greater intelligence that our agents have not been able to secure yet.
I believe I understand. So, what you primarily request is a near pinpoint location rather than a region.
Correct.
Reasonable. I understand. So, if we were to provide you with such a location, you would be willing to dispatch of Tiamat yourselves.
We'd be willing to dispatch of our enemies ourselves.
I imagine that you would consider Tiamat to be an enemy.
You may imagine whatever you so choose.
Surely, I understand. Is there any other interest you have in as I'm sure you are aware, the Well of Dragons and its occupants.
We believe in many uses for bodies who have been relieved of their souls. We would like those too.
Aye. And what of that who lost his soul that once belonged to you, that named Rath Modar? Have you interest in him?
Oh, he is very high on our list of things to reclaim.
Reclaim in which way, may I ask?
It is of no concern to you. He won't be a problem for you after we have him.
He is not a problem for us now.
Oh, you are gravely mistaken. Elf. You think if you were wise, you would have destroyed his body when you slew him first.
I understand that his spirit may spring eternal, and I am also
His body
to believe that
walks
you
the
are.
earth as we speak.
I would never underestimate that of your allegiances. That I question. What could we do if we were to encounter him that would perhaps make your jobs easier? That's truly why I asked to how you wish to reclaim him, because if we were to dispatch of him as you recommend,
Well, do what you did the first time, um, and we'll take it from there.
am I to believe correctly that whether or not you would to be invited to Faerun, that you would go and solve these problems regardless? With all respect, I believe that not only are you far more intelligent enough to understand that you could do so either way, with or without the permission of the Sword Coast and its council.
She considers this carefully. The will of Sostam cannot be um, cannot be ignored. We have our ways of accomplishing our tasks. We need not you to accomplish this. We simply seek mutual agreement so that things may go smoothly for all of us.
May I leave the table for a moment?
Uh,
I'm feeling.
are you saying is Talia saying this or are you saying this?
Yes.
I
Talia
think
is
her.
saying it.
Was that in character? Are you asking
Yes.
me if you can step away for a second? Is Abby asking me if she can run to the bathroom? Or...
No. In character. In character.
Okay. And where would you go, young druid?
Just to the restroom for a moment. You may have a guard follow me if you wish.
She kind of like shakes her head at you, says, "So be it." And she waves, and one of the whites peels off to escort you.
Cool. I would like to go and cast when I'm like alone and they're outside. Cast divination,
Okay.
and I would like to ask you a question.
Okay.
That if that uh that if joining these people will be beneficial to us, or if they will just betray us as others have.
If you successfully come to an agreement with Thay, they will be an asset in the final battle.
Okay. Thank you. And I'll return to the table.
Okay.
Let us find a mutual agreement. To my understanding, you wish to walk amongst the Sword Coast, dealing with what you feel that, well, whatever concerns you, I suppose. It seems fair to me. And I would be sure that you would be expecting us to ask something of you in return.
I expect you to ask nothing in return. We will remove threats and they will no longer be threats.
It just does not make sense why you would ask for us to be here. I understand that you could do this with or without our approval, Tharkion, and I understand the formalities,
I am
and I
asking.
understand that you only do what your lord says.
I'm
I
asking.
feel like
Okay.
my apologies. Go ahead.
She speaks up and says, "What I ask of you is that you authorize um, Nye Ilmich to sit at your council table, and that you continue doing the work you're doing, improving, feeding intelligence to the council, and then we will know that intelligence because that's how we work, and we will act upon it."
Can I insight check that?
Sure.
I'm not very insidey, but okay. Oh, heck yeah.
That's exactly what she's gonna do.
I trust her. As much as I don't trust her. Okay.
Seems a reasonable request.
Would you allow us an evening to discuss in your halls? Keep us as a guest
Oh, I
for a
insist
night
upon it.
and return to you tomorrow.
I insist upon it. We will reach agreement in the morning.
I understand. And may I ask a favor of you, unrelated to the topic? Of course, only at your discretion.
She gives you a curious look. Not many would dare ask a favor of a Tharkion, but I am willing to hear it.
Perhaps a permission. I seek interest in the landscape of Thay, a place that someone such as myself would not be lucky enough to travel through. And while in your halls, I would absolutely love to be able to evaluate your maps. And it's continue and say, I collect maps of the Sword Coast, which perhaps, as you would go to run a inquisition upon, you may find valuable as well. And I would be more than happy to perhaps share our knowledge in the name of cartography.
She thinks about this. She pauses for a moment and seems to be really mulling this over. And she replies, "If we successfully reach agreement here, your requests for our maps will be considered. Uh, but we must deal with the problem at hand first."
Surely, Tharkion. And I appreciate your consideration, as that is all that I could potentially ask of you at this time. Shall we reconvene tomorrow in the morning?
I think that would be for the best. You are dismissed.
I'll bow and I'm sure be led back to wherever we're staying.
Yeah, that Nye Ilmish sort of. You see the whites that were sort of returned to the position between you and her, and Nye Ilmish says, "Right this way," and she leads you back towards your dormitories for the evening.
So should we talk about it in someone's room? What do you all think?
Oh, Giovanni, I forgot. I picked this up for you. And I hand him the fire plane map of Brass, which I got last session.
This is beautiful. Where did you come across this?
It was in the Wizard's Tower that we went and explored. But if you ever want to go there, I think I could take us.
An intriguing offer.
But yeah, I thought of you when we found it.
Well, I thank you. Let me I in fact I have something for you and Lucina as well, or Evelyn, my apologies. I'll allow the three of you to come to a conclusion as what you wish to do here. I obviously have ulterior motives seeing the opportunity for maps, and I will remove myself from the situation. Retrieve me from my room when you see fit. I will take that as a yes.
Okay. I was just making sure you weren't doing a dramatic pause or flourish.
Thumbs up, Evelyn.
Yes. We good. We do that.
Okay. Also, what? How do you think? How should we
How should we?
proceed? Should we agree to a request? Talia, you seemed to be against it before we left.
I just don't trust these people.
Oh, what's there to trust? But to be fair, all she's asking is to share some of our high-level intelligence, or that of the councils.
Seems like a fair request to me. As much as I don't want to accept it, I think they would be good allies.
Evelyn?
No, I agree. Seems more prudent to have them on side than to not.
Would you think that it would be prudent to ask how they
Oh, I
plan
apologize.
on?
Just I want to interrupt you guys for a moment. There's something I was supposed to do as you're leaving the council chamber. I'd like everyone just to make a quick persuasion check for reasons that I'm not going to elucidate, but
Perception, or you said?
persuasion.
That's pretty good.
Wow.
That's
I don't even
better
want
than
to
usual.
roll.
Okay, thank you.
Guys, I think that Kyle saved us.
I literally didn't say anything that whole meet.
I said one
You
thing,
just
and that's-
likes how you looked.
I was just flexing the whole time.
Weird flex, but okay. Okay, thank you. That's
I'm gonna step up for a minute while you guys decide what to do.
Do you think it'd be prudent to impose some sort of condition? I'm not sure what kind of power we have here, but or at least to ask and see like how they plan on traveling through the coast. Like I don't really want farmers and random people seeing zombies and skeletons walking by and potentially killing their livestock. And
Yeah, that's some of the nitty gritty that would need to be discussed more in detail. Who would be doing that talking, though? Hard to say.
Giovanni.
Giovanni wants to do the talking. He can talk.
He's a talker.
Yes. I know words, but they're kind of blunt and not great.
Or maybe Shen. Shen, are you good at talking?
nope,
You're better than me.
Cool.
I'm good at flexing.
I mean, that doesn't surprise me. My strength is only 12 of 20, so
I mean, mine's 14, so
you're still better.
yeah, I guess.
And
I don't really know. I really don't feel like we have much power here. It seems very formal.
yeah,
it's a good assessment.
Who said that? You all hear that?
God, is that you?
Sure is.
Did you do a divination check in the bathroom, Talia?
You don't know that.
Nat 20. That's not Nat 20. I wish that was, though. 20 on religion. Yes. I hear this is the higher being called the DM. What that stands for, I'm not sure.
Is Misha a beast?
Misha is a dragon.
Dang it.
Is that
Hard to-
accurate?
I can change his
Yeah, it's a
intelligence to
medium
10.
dragon.
Wait, he's a dragon? Oh, dang it.
Yeah.
A guard drake is
Yeah.
a medium dragon.
Can he be a beast?
No,
Huh, so it is.
Can we
he's a
give him
dragon.
like? Can we give him? Well, he's a blue dragon, so can we give him a water stone so he can reach his final form?
Yes.
You know, Richard and I briefly talked about a Pokemon module for D&D the other day. I just
have
thought
not
you'd
read
find that
any of
amusing.
by the way.
Neither
he
have
already has
I.
a water stone.
Um,
I'm already getting my fill of Pokemon in this particular campaign, though.
I have pyrite. Can we use that instead?
What are we trying to do?
Who has the Ion Stone of Intelligence?
Misha does. That's why
Is that
Misha can
okay?
talk.
That's what we were trying to figure out because for a second Abby thought that she might have given it to Galen, but we couldn't
I was
remember.
about to be
I don't think so.
mad.
I don't think so.
No,
Oh, and
that's been floating around Misha's head for like fucking months now.
oh, and Andy,
Yay.
to answer your question, because I can't figure out how to do whisper because I'm bad. Yes, I did draw a card.
Do you remember what it was?
It was a card that did like fuck all.
It did not matter.
I'm just God, dude. I don't know.
Just go watch the VOD.
Yeah. Because I remember where we drew cards.
Just skip through until you see Vaughn's not there.
Yeah, it was right outside of the cave, where that dragon was.
Great. Then you should have the easiest time going and finding it yourself.
Find it.
Okay, so we all back? We good to keep going?
I haven't
Yeah.
been good for a while. I don't know what you guys are up
Yeah,
to.
I was waiting for Andy to get back.
Oh, did you come to a decision? I'm just chilling in my room doing stuff.
I mean, I think we have no choice but to accept.
And then figure out about what the terms and conditions of this would be, and hopefully we can just make a really long EULA and they just won't read it and hit okay.
That's good.
Oh, that'd be great. Should we ask that they do not kill any people or their livestock on their way through Waterdeep or on the way through the Sword Coast in general? Because I think that would be a good idea.
I also believe it would be greatly insulting.
That's
Yeah,
fair. I think you should ask it.
Surely. I believe them to be intelligent, especially non-lacking in the Department of Wisdom neither. As it stands, Evelyn, Talia, these are for you. And I'm going to hand each of you a bag. And I'm going to tell you what's in it in a minute. So go ahead and do it.
Oh,
Is it a
boy.
puppy?
I would not want a puppy in a bag. That sounds like an ominous omen. I just hope it's a bag filled with nothing and I can stick my entire arm into it and keep going.
I stand on the side a little bit dejected that I didn't get a present.
I'll share mine with you, Shan.
Shan, do you want a dagger?
I've got 30.
Do you have 15?
What?
I'd like to make myself Edward Scissorhands. Can you make that happen?
Let's
I
see.
would like a dagger count.
I have. Actually, yes, I do have 15 I could give you.
Oh, are you ever gonna unload those things? Like, what are you doing, man? what kind of life is Evelyn living where she's just wandering around with infinite numbers of daggers?
Hey. You say this now, but when there's a dagger throwing contest to win a prize and I bring my own and I can cheat the system, then who's going to be laughing?
So you got me. I don't know. All right, let's move things along here. Are you guys settling in for the night? What are you doing?
I open the bag from Giovanni, and
Oh,
then
yes.
I hand half to Shen.
What's inside the bag?
What's in the
There's a
bag?
lot of money.
Where did Andy go? What's in the box?
Each bag contained 1 copper, 206 silver, and 1,809 gold. Party treasure, which we forgot to distribute that
Yeah.
Giovanni had been carrying when he left.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. He wandered off
I
with a whole bunch of loot.
I did. As soon as I wrote him out, I looked at Abby. I'm like, oh crap! I think I just took all of our stuff.
I actually just passed the bag back to Talia. I'm not really interested in them, but thank you. Appreciate
It's
the
not
Talia. I
sentiment.
know
either.
Talia.
It was very kind.
Right.
More
I need to
sapphires
dr-
for the Sapphire God, aka Misha.
Yes, give Misha all the money. Misha is a dragon, so
She's got to
I'll
look
give
the
him
part.
the money. And you
Can
couldn't
we
have
get a
at least
wax
turned his gold
service?
to platinum.
What's that?
Andy could have turned their gold to platinum.
What was that?
Could you have turned the gold
I
to
didn't-
platinum during
Why
the
didn't
time?
you color her up? Is what she's asking.
Oh, I guess I could have, but I don't know.
I'm just gonna say you did.
Yeah, sure.
So that's instead it's 10 gold or like 100 gold is platinum, yeah? What's the conversion rate?
I think it's 10 to 1.
It's 10 to 1.
10 to 1, okay, so I got 180 plat then. I'm not gonna get a
Alright.
0.09.
You guys can manage your cash in a minute. Are you guys discussing anything else before you go to bed tonight?
I will tell them that I can ask nature a question tomorrow if they would like an answer to this dilemma
What
we face.
nature?
Just the world. I can ask the world a question.
The multiverse.
Hmm.
I assume these are more of yes or no questions. They're not going to get big.
No complex answers, huh?
No, simple questions. So think it over tonight, and I can ask tomorrow if you'd like.
Okay.
Mm.
Alright, you
Okay.
guys done for the night then?
I think we are.
Alright. You guys settle into sleep, or at least those of you who do sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Which isn't Evelyn. And at that, anyone who does sleep, so not Evelyn, please make a wisdom saving throw with disadvantage.
Oh. Please don't make me.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
That was so good until it was so bad.
Come on, Talia. Use that
One
big
moment.
wisdom brain of yours.
I don't know if Talia would be sleeping here.
I don't know if I would either, but I feel like that's the only thing I'd want to do. Sorry, it takes me forever to get back to.
Why am I the only one who's fine?
Because you don't sleep.
I know. I'm saying, why are they rolling so bad?
So, y'all motherfuckers all have some real bad dreams.
That's okay.
You all three of you, the dream starts the same. You awake bound to a table. You're surrounded, like, there's a giant cauldron surrounded you. You're bound to the table by chains and tentacles holding you down. You see people in red robes surrounding you, a dozen of them each. 2 or 3 of them step forward. And they all just sort of start by taking a red hot fire poker and stabbing into your side and says, "We have some more questions for you." Who do we want to start with? Let's start with Giovanni.
Hell yeah.
Giovanni, one of the Red Robes figures, steps forward. He says, What were you doing in Mintarn?
I'll be happy to answer anything you have. I don't understand why we can't have this like gentlemen over a cup of tea rather than you trying to interrogate me.
He stabs you again with a fire poker. What were
Once
you doing
again,
in Mintarn?
seemingly unnecessary. On my vacation? Is that what you mean? Just shortly before now.
Correct.
Visiting back to where I was once from, contacting old friends, and beginning my own business enterprise, I suppose you could say. What would you like to know more?
Is that a true statement?
Yes.
Make a persuasion check. Do so with advantage. Okay. You see him nod. We're gonna cut away. Shen, what's up, man?
I'm doing good. I'm doing bad, but you know.
Um, your one wizard steps up. And he asks you, what does he ask you? Why do you fight the cult of the dragon?
I probably wouldn't answer that.
You refuse to answer it?
I would.
He stabs you with a fire poker again. It sears. Horrible pain. Why do you fight the cult of the dragon?
Hmm. Because it's the right thing to do.
Okay.
I should say. Because it's what I was tasked to do.
Okay. Is that true?
Yeah.
Make a persuasion check with advantage. He nods, and we cut to Talia. Talia, how you doing?
I'm gonna have a couple questions first.
Okay, what's up?
Is this being charmed or frightened?
This is being charmed.
I cannot be charmed by elementals or fae.
You are not being charmed by elementals or fae.
Dang it. But also, as a half, I have advantage on saving throws against charms for a half elf. But this is okay. Is this a spell?
Yes. It's a smell you're very familiar with. You performed it yesterday.
Yep.
Uh, so yeah. Oh, this isn't even a charm. It's an illusion, yo. I didn't even know that.
And did we level up or no? Not yet.
You're not 14 yet. You're 13 right now. But well, does that matter?
It kind of does.
You can't cast magic right now.
I can't.
Really?
Nope. You are asleep. I want to make that clear. This is a thing that's happening in your dream, but you are asleep. Yeah. Do you try to cast a spell?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. It doesn't. Your restraints tighten. They run a dagger down your side, put a little cut in your torso. Don't get
That's
too
fine.
antsy now. We have work to do. And he asks you, why did you leave your grove?
I spit in his face.
He wipes it off.
I hiss at him.
He asks you again, why did you leave your grove?
I just don't say anything.
Okay. They stick a searing hot rod into your side. Last chance. Why did you leave your grove?
Nothing.
Okay. Alright. So with that is... Okay. Let's go back to Giovanni. He kind of holds up his business venture, huh? What business venture is that?
May we change the scenery? I'll cooperate with you as much as you like. Once again, I say this be unnecessary.
Your dissent is noted. We'll
No,
place
no,
it in
I'm
common
honestly, I'm
box.
asking you politely. I'm not trying to be like a smart ass to him.
He responds like a smartass. He's like, well, we'll be sure to put that in the suggestion bin. But for now, what is this business venture you speak of?
That of the Cartography Guild of Mintarn, establishing my own building and guild. What else could I answer for you?
That's true
Feel
statement.
free, answer anything. Yes.
Make a persuasion check with advantage. Okay. Shen, who gave you these
Yes.
orders?
The higher ups at my small island long ago.
What's their name?
Oof.
That's a funny name. Weird.
You know what? That's canonical. His name's Oof. Yeah.
Make a persuasion check with advantage.
Okay.
Okay. Back to Talia. Oh, young half elf. This could be so much less unpleasant for you if you just work with us here. Uh, between the time you failed to answer the question and now, they've taken a goblet of acid and have just been pouring it on your leg. You can feel the pain searing on your skin. He picks up another sharp implement. It kind of looks like a corkscrew. You're not really sure where he plans to go with that. He says, "Forget about
Richard, that's weird, man. That was weird.
I don't know. I'm making this up as I go, guys.
I know that's what concerns me.
I gotta get creative here. I'm not really sure where creativity is gonna take me. Let's. This isn't a Rorschach test. Don't worry about me.
Come on, GTA prepared you for this, right?
Yeah. So he steps up to you again, sort of brandishing this thing. And he asks, what does he ask? He says, "What interests do you have in stopping dragons from returning?" Is that just silence from
I
Talia?
know what you're doing.
And what is that?
I know your spells.
Well, then you know there's not really much you can do about it.
Nope, I guess we'll spend 8 hours here.
So be it. And I think he just sort of jams the corkscrew in your arm and starts twisting. It hurts real bad.
Yeah.
Giovanni,
Like this.
how's it going, man?
For the love of God, it is so dreary in here. I can't believe that you would rather be in such an area rather than sitting in a nice, comfortable armchair, which I know you're capable of. But by all means, please do continue.
Tell me
I have
about,
nothing to hide from you.
Tell
But
me about Wrath Mordar.
what would you like to know?
Everything you know about him.
I consider this for a minute, and Giovanni, not having the best memory, responds, I understand him to be a member of the Cult of the Dragon, one of which wears red robes, similar to yourself, now that I take a look. I believe that we encountered him upon a flying castle, believe it as you may, operated by a cloud giant, something along those lines. He was quickly slain, unable to wield his magics against us, as our party held him in place and executed him. To be quite honest, that's all I can really recall. Perhaps we had encountered him before. You're welcome to scry my memories if you wish. But
Make a persuasion check with advantage.
is there anything else we know about Wrath Mordor?
Probably not.
I was gonna say that's all I remember about him. If I hadn't had to look at a picture of him earlier, I would have forgot.
You guys are doing good. Except for Talia. Let's not worry about her. Shen. Hmm.
Hi.
Where's the? Where are the dragon masks?
In the Dragon's Keep, probably. Sounds like that's where they're for.
And where is that?
I have no idea.
That's not true. You know where that is. It's the Wall of Dragons. Everyone's been
That's
talking
what
about
I'm
it.
saying.
Is that what you're saying?
Yep.
Make a deception check with advantage.
Yoicks. Oh wait, advantage. That's slightly better than yoik.
Talia.
Yes.
What do they ask you next? I wonder. They pick up a new. What do they pick up? They
Oh,
describe.
I recommend that one.
Ooh, Jacks. Jacks are my favorite.
They put a bucket of water underneath your head. You're not making this easy, miss. We're just trying to do our jobs here. Let's ask you an easy one. Where is Severin?
Who the hell is Severin, Richard?
You guys know that he's the leader of the Cult of the Dragon.
Have we ever met him?
No,
Nah.
this is like an intelligence report type thing. You guys have heard of him before.
I'd click on that, but I don't want to have the FBI knocking on my
boy.
door.
I enjoy my FBI visits. They're weekly now.
That's it, huh?
Why are you doing this?
Why does anyone do anything? It's information.
Do you not
Information
trust
is
us?
power.
I agree, and I think this has given us a lot of information about who you guys are.
Oh, please, this is hardly more than an inconvenience. And he dunks your head in the bucket of water. Where's Severin?
I don't know. And I don't care.
Yeah, make a persuasion check.
Is that not truthful? I'm just asking as a player.
I mean,
I don't think we know jack shit about who Severin is.
okay, Giovanni.
Woohoo!
What do I want to ask Giovanni next?
As he ponders, I say, wait, a question of my own first, if you will.
That's not really how this works, but I'll entertain
I
it.
ask for both of us, please give us more comfortable accommodations. I once again will answer everything truthfully, as I already have.
He looks around. He says, I quite like this place.
Fair. I must disagree with you in my own sense, but if you're happy, I understand.
Well, I mean, the good news is if you keep on cooperating, so I'll be over soon. Let's see here.
Benefits me not either way. You could keep me here for as long as you'd like, and I will continue to answer your question.
What does Wrath hope that Tiamat's return will bring you? Will bring him?
To my knowledge, up until recently, I believed Rathmodar to be deceased. Apparently, he continues to walk this earth. You asked what he would bring for him?
Yeah, what does he
If I
hope
was
to
to
gain
guess,
from this?
to be quite frank with you, I could only guess. Power, potential for advancement, a means of escape from those of whom he's defected, perhaps? The best I can give you, truly.
Make a persuasion check with advantage. I think you know more. And he pulls out his fire poker again and gives you a good stick. Also, I think these accommodations will do just fine for.
It's absolute horse shit. I know nothing more. Wrath is a blip in my memory, meager as it is. But fine, have it your way.
Shen,
If you wish to be inhospitable, then I can mirror it equally.
Shen,
Shan.
what happened to Narrowvein? He was the elf that was in control of the green dragon mask.
Who?
Narrowvein.
The guy
Never.
flying on the green dragon.
Yeah, I never heard of.
When you first joined. Are you saying that?
Yes.
Make a deception check.
Well,
Please. If you're gonna lie, do try to do so better.
noted.
I think he just sort of takes like a mace type thing and just sort of slams it against your stomach.
I have abs of steel, son. Also, ouch.
Talia.
Is this guy from here or from the cult? Can I tell?
I mean, he appears to be a red wizard. They all appear to be red wizards.
Gotcha.
Let's see here. What else do they want to ask you about? This is. How do you feel about our lifestyle here in Thay? He asks you.
I'm sorry, my head's underwater.
Oh, they tugged you back up.
Can I try and kick the chair that I'm on back?
Sure, you can try.
Or am I on a table?
You're
I thought I
on a
was in
table. Your like legs, your hands and legs are being kind of tied to the table with chains and tentacles. They kind of tilted the table back and like dropped the headrest so they could dunk in this water.
Okay. Then I'd like to. Is there a way I could move to kind of get myself to fall either which way, like wobble the table back and forth or something?
I mean, you can try.
I'll try.
I guess roll an athletics check. I don't know. You feel the chains loosen for a second, but it tightens back down, double fold. You can actually feel it compressing your ankles as it goes. It says, please. I mean, just answer the questions. We're almost done. What do you think of our lifestyle here?
Hiss again.
Okay.
You're missing trees.
Okay. Make a persuasion check. Okay. We're gonna go back to Giovanni.
Real quick, I forgot that I could do this. If you'll let me retcon, I'll do it. If you won't, that's fine too. I would have liked to use a luck point on my last persuasion roll. Your choice.
I think that one's in the books.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. You can use them soon. I think they sort of pipe up and say, I mean, you don't seem all that impressed with our surroundings. This is kind of traditional for us.
No, you misunderstand. It's not that I'm unimpressed with your surroundings or per se your lifestyle. Simply this room. I think as long as you enjoy it, then that's your style of life, not mine. But that's all.
Well,
Anyways, go ahead, please. My apologies for interrupting you.
if our eternal master Saz Tam was in front of you right now, what would you do?
Could you describe to me him more? I am unfamiliar.
Oh, he is our eternal master. He cannot die. He has transcended death, and yet he is death itself. Not many from your home region have an appreciation for that. I'm curious as to what your disposition is. So I ask you again, if our eternal master were in front of you right now, what would you do?
You may find me to be unlike many from my home continent. I believe to be inquisitive in the most respectful of ways. I hope you understand. It's not often that someone gets to meet someone of his caliber, you might say. I believe it might be an opportunity rather than something of an unfortunate occurrence, as you had said, many of my people would imagine.
Okay. Make a persuasion check with advantage. Okay. Shen.
Yep.
You know, we've been talking with some of your friends too, as I'm sure you can imagine. What do you think of that Talia lass?
What do I think of Talia?
Hmm.
Seems pretty cool. I mean, I wouldn't be traveling with her if I thought. What do you mean?
Oh, she's not very cooperative. Do you find her cooperative?
Well, I usually don't strap her to tables.
I suppose that is fair. Make a persuasion check.
I flex.
Talia, now your friends are much more amenable than you are, miss.
What's your sleep schedule, sir?
Oh, you know. I sleep. Eventually. Sometimes.
Because I swear, as soon as you fall asleep, I will do the exact same thing to you, only worse. And I will hunt you down every single day until you can't do this to anyone else.
Well, I mean, this is my job. I'm very good at it. There are others like me, of course. How did you find yourself with this group of folks that you travel with now?
I could ask you the same thing.
But I'm not the one strapped at a table at the moment.
Yeah, at the moment.
He gives you a smile. He says, "Oh, I very much look forward to our next meeting. But the question stands.
Nothing.
And he grabs. What does he grab?
Jacks are my favorite. They're metal spikes you put in their mouths and then force them to chew them. Sometimes you can make them swallow them.
Yes, honey, please pick my torture item.
Somebody has to.
I think like he just takes like there's like I want to say like a pad. Like it's like just like a little like square of spikes, and he sort of like lays it on top of your like abdomen, and just starts adding weight on top of it, and you can feel it slowly pierce into your abdomen.
If it's said equally, you feel nothing.
I was gonna say, if it's equally placed, I don't feel anything. I did this before. But I have abs of steel. Oh wait, that's Shen.
Yeah, I was gonna say like it's funny. Your monk already friend made such a joke already. Back to Giovanni.
A question first, as is only fair.
He
You
sighs.
mentioned
He's like, proceed.
no. You had mentioned your great lord, Szastem. Will he be joining us at any point?
Oh, he doesn't bother himself with such small things as this.
Damn, I figured as much. I thought I'd ask. I'd want to be prepared. Um, know how to address him properly. Something I could ask you beforehand, as not to insult him nor myself. But, anyways, continue, please.
You can simply refer to him as your eternal master, for he is all of our eternal master.
Your eternal master. Noted. Thank you.
So he pipes up and says, "You don't seem much one for politics. What do you think of your
Depends.
compatriots on the council in Waterdeep?"
Oh, what I could tell you about them in other circumstances. Who do you wish to know about? Please let me know.
Oh, just an overview will do for now.
Politics are interesting, as I'm sure you would imagine. Perhaps you could rebrand them as tactics, which I do find intriguing and I do find enjoyable. However, speaking and doing are two very different things, and some of them are better at speaking and some of them are better at doing. Those who wish to speak gain not my attention in a positive light. Those who wish to do, I do favor.
All right, make a persuasion check with advantage.
May I ask
Uh,
you one more question? An honest one of personal taste.
okay.
If you believe me to cooperate with you thus far, why keep me bound? Do you not believe that I would continue to cooperate?
He considers and says, you have been quite amenable. I'm actually done with you for now. We'll speak again, I'm sure. Um,
Adieu, Shetty.
and your dream ends, and you sleep fitfully for the rest of the night, but you do sleep. Shen,
Yep.
he speaks up and says, "You keep strange folk as allies. Tell us about
Yep.
Galen Knox."
Strangest of the folk. What do you want to know?
How did you come to traveling with this turncoat?
To be honest, I'm not fully sure. We just kind of crossed paths, and he seemed to be looking to do the same thing I am with the defeating the cult of the dragon. So it just worked.
Did it not bother you that he performed necromancy?
There are worse things. He never, invaded my dreams, friend.
He seems almost a little bit impressed by the answer. Make the persuasion check with advantage. He goes, "Hmm, you are a curious man. I think there is more to that, but we'll get into that." And I think he pulls out the old red hot fire poker again and just sort of gives you a little stick in the feet just to perk you back up a bit.
I feel perked.
Talia,
I
you seem quite content to just commune with nature. Why why leave the trees for the city? Why do any of this at all?
that is not of your concern.
Well, I mean, you are our champions. If we cannot trust you, why should we trust anyone over there?
Well, seeing as you've done this, I doubt we'll be your champions anymore. How can we trust you?
I mean, our methods are well established.
Your methods are poor, and they will gain you nothing.
Fair enough. He grabs another large plate weight and drops it on from from about a foot above the spike thing. He drops about a 30-pound weight on top of it from about a foot up.
Now,
Shen,
Yep.
tell me about the Tiefling Warlock Rion Nightshade.
I don't know what I can tell you. I just met.
How does she strike you?
Well, she's purple or red or. I don't really know how to answer that question.
Do you like her?
I don't like anyone I don't know.
Fair assessment. Make a persuasion check. With advantage again.
Jeez, you really need this advantage.
And he says, it has been a long night. I think you've had enough. Do sleep well for the rest of the evening. And the dream ends, and you sleep fitfully for the rest of the night. Talia.
And what is
It's...
your name, sir?
Oh, well, that's not really how this works. But we can get to that. Yeah, I mean, if you have any issue with how we conduct business, you could always take it up with the Tharkion, but I don't think that's going to go well for you. But I do have one last question for you. Why did you leave those dragons in El Terrell? Why leave the eggs with them? Why not destroy them?
Was not my choice.
Is the choice you would have made?
I choose not to mess with beasts of such great power.
To me, it simply sounds like you're saying that you lack conviction. Do you disagree with that?
You can read whatever you want.
Make a persuasion check. All right. He says, "I'm quite disappointed in you, but it seems that we're not getting much progress here. Do have a good night, and you sleep fitfully for the rest of the night." Morning comes. Evelyn, you're feeling right as rain, just as you do after every meditation. The rest of you are feeling pretty haggard this morning. Um, you kind of like take some time to gather yourself before you're summoned by a knock on your door, and it's Nye Ilmich saying that uh, that the Tharkion wishes to speak with you all, and that breakfast will be served shortly.
Lovely. I look forward to it.
All right, so I think you sort of gather up in the hallway. Um, Evelyn, you notice your friends got some bags going on under their eyes. They're not looking too comfortable for the most part. Um, but yeah, you guys come back to the audience chamber. Um, escorted there once again. Um, they sort of sit you down for breakfast. What do you talk about during um, at breakfast? It is just the four of you plus with Nye Ilmich and some guards stationed around the room.
How's the food?
It's good.
Even like, I'm so even undead are eating food that we would find
I mean, no,
tasty.
the only
I
people
don't
at the table are the four of you and Nye Ilmich, who's
Gotcha.
but the food's solid. It's good.
So
Mhm.
not the Tharkian.
No, the Tharkion is not here yet.
Okay. So should we talk about how we slept then?
Yeah, if you want to.
Because I didn't sleep well.
Oh. Well, that sucks.
Yeah. I don't really like how the people here do business. Aside from the amenities.
Hmm. Odd connection, but okay.
I slept fine despite their willingness to come to an agreement upon their hospitality and our own dreams. I'm sure you witnessed the same.
Nykarn says, "Oh, that's just standard practice. Don't mind them."
Not concerned in the slightest, as simply as I had mentioned to them before, through cooperation, why not rest in an armchair rather than on a table? Much more comfortable.
Oh, well, if Tatharkion has found all of your responses agreeable, I'm sure that our next meetings could be conducted in a matter more of your choosing.
Next meetings, huh? Why would you assume there'd be more?
I mean, we're all still here for a reason, are we not?
We did agree to another meeting this morning.
Yes, but I doubt we'd stay here another night, is more of what I was saying.
Oh no, one way or another. Our business here is concluded today.
And what are your instructions if we say no?
Oh, I mean, that's your prerogative. We'll simply take you back to Waterdeep, and I will return back to uh, the service of our eternal master, as I always do, whether it be in
Can I
Waterdeep
insight?
or back here.
Can I give that an insight check?
Absolutely.
Make sure.
She seems pretty damn genuine.
Oh.
Like this is what they do, man. This is their jam.
Yep. I prefer peanut butter.
With what kind of jelly?
Is there any
And-
wine at the breakfast table?
I mean, there could be.
I would like there to be. Specifically with a name in a corked bottle.
Uh, the nine sort of like thinks what this person's. Oh, of course. Yeah, she brings one back. It's a bottle from somewhere. It's Cormier. It's Cormier Purple. Is what the wine's called. Um, you realize that they don't really produce their own wine, and it's been looted from somewhere else. But you're
It's
provided
fine.
with a bottle of wine.
Do you think that anyone would be offended if I kept this as a souvenir?
I think not. The Tharkion's cellar is extensive. I'm sure
I
she won't mind parting with one bottle.
I would believe it. I just wouldn't want to have anyone thinking me being rude. Anyways, thank you.
Nye bows. Are you ready to meet with the Tharkion?
Personally, yes. The lot of you. How are we feeling?
I'm good.
She's not a patient woman. We should probably get moving. And yeah, so I mistakenly told you that you were led into the into the hall before. This was more like a banquet hall. You're brought back to the audience chamber, um, and um, there once again, posted up with 10 red wizards and 5 whites is the Tharkion sitting on her throne. Uh, and she greets you once again. The white steps to the side so she can address you directly. Good morning. I hope you have found our sleeping accommodations satisfactory.
Good morning, Tharkion. We missed you at breakfast this morning. We thought that you may be joining us, but alas, I suppose that you have ate elsewhere.
I am a busy woman, you see.
Understandable.
But that being said, after our feeling out procedures that we've conducted, I think we can find that arrangement with you is amenable to both of us. Um, so, with that, uh, we can proceed as we discussed yesterday. Nai will sit in on your council meetings and will report to us through means of our own. and we'll just take care of problems for you. And that's how that will go. Is that agreeable?
Tharkion, I have a question about your how you'll be conducting business on this.
Of course.
When you say taking care of problems, does that imply sending troops in? How do you plan on housing them
Oh,
and
we don't
feeding
we
them
don't
and all?
send ground armies to
Okay.
take care of our problems. They will provide for themselves, and they will not interfere with any of your with your towns or cities or villages. They will go in and they will remove threats, and then they will leave.
Does the council decide who threats are?
Oh no, we decide who threats are.
Hmm.
I assure you that on my honor and the honor of Sauce Tam, that uh, that our selection of targets will be agreeable to you. I assure you that we will restrict our targets to targets that interest us within your cult of the dragon.
You limit your targets to those who are involved with the cult? Is that what you said? I'm
Yes,
sorry, I
yes.
misheard. Interesting. I see. I must warn you, out of respect, whether or not we agree that your presence would be beneficial to that of the Sword Coast, there are those who disagree with us through every leap and bound that we make to save their livelihood from the threat of Tiamat. And I'm sure that you will meet opposition from them. I imagine you would be aware of this, though.
I'm sorry. Like, can you give me the short version? I kind of didn't follow that entirely. What was that?
The council won't agree with us, even if we say that's cool. There will be people like Onthar and Istival that would not be peachy on it, is
That
what
is,
I'm basically telling her.
I mean, that is correct. Your internal politics are of no consequence to us.
As long as you're aware.
I am I am taking on your honor that you agree to this. That Nai uh, will be under the protection of the council and be received as a guest, just as we have received you as a guest.
A dangerous way of phrasing things, but I suspect that by the majority of the council you will find Nye to be accepted similarly. As I was trying to tell you, though, there will be some that will not find this agreeable no matter what we tell them.
Will they
And
attack Nai?
that's not for me to decide, that's not for me to know. To be quite frank with you, their power surpasses that of even my own.
Nai kind of speaks from the back. She says, "They have they have not been friendly, but have been hospitable to me so far. I expect that that'll continue."
If Nye was to be comfortable, they have spent more time with the council than we in recent weeks, then I believe that they would be well accepted. Their judgment might be better than ours on who would and would not accept them within the council.
And then Tharkian says, "Excellent. Well, I believe our business here is concluded then. Nai, he will return with them to Waterdeep, um, and you will report back when it is time for you to do so. You are all dismissed."
As I real quick, um, as the, I want to just glance at the red wizards beside her throne. Do I recognize any of them to be the one from my dream?
The one on her right hand was your interrogator.
Tharkion, if I may, one more thing. Once again, unrelated. An offer to you from myself personally.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that your people have means of teleportation that, to my understanding, far surpass that of my people. And I would like to extend an invitation to both you and the gentleman on your left,
Right.
he who visited me in my dreams, to visit me at my estate on Mintarn at your leisure. I understand that we commonly do not come to your home, And if it would ever so strike you as being desirable, I would have you as my guests with equal hospitality.
She kind of takes a moment, looks down at the red wizard on her right, and back up to you, like curiously, and says, "I am very busy. There's a reason why I've had Nye bring you here, and I have not gone to Waterdeep myself. But I will take your offer under advisement, and I don't know we can, when or if there will be a time to make good on that. But I will be sure to contact you beforehand. Um,
Surely, my doors are open to you.
okay. Well, if there's ever an opportunity where my duties as Tharkion aren't too cumbersome, I will consider it. You may go now."
I'll follow us being led by Nye wherever
Yep.
we're.
Nye kind of leads you guys back to the teleport circles and says, "Oh, this is wonderful. I thought this wasn't going to go much worse. I'm so glad that we can reach agreement."
An agreement, yes. However, as not only our representative, I do ask that you follow in pursuit of my request of maps of Thay.
Oh, of course. We will begin filing that immediately for consideration. Um, I will bring the petition before the Tharkion, and if she's so inclined, she can approve it or send it up the ladder uh, towards our Eternal Master's administration for
At
approval
your
as well.
leisure.
But yes, we will get right on that, of course. Um, but in the meantime, duty calls, and she kind of leads you back towards the teleport circle, so you're all ready to go.
Surely.
Um,
Yep.
and she does a quick modification in the runes and stuff, so it projects the teleportation circle of the keep in Waterdeep, and it activates, and you are all teleported back there. Uh, and with that, we're going to take a quick break. Is everyone good with that? 5 minutes?
I'm fine with that.
Yep.
All right, cool. And we'll sort of take care of our last council meeting. Um, and get ready for planning our final assault on the Well of Dragons. Okay?
All right.
All right.
Eat.
Yeah. So
Well,
I'm
well,
gonna run
well.
use the bathroom, and we'll call it 5 minutes. Okay?
All right.
Cool.
Well, 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 it all comes down to that.
you all the things. There we go. Back to the stream.
What
Cool.
was Ashley watching earlier?
She is definitely watching Infinity War. That is what's
Oh,
happening.
Spoilers?
It's on Netflix. That's the spoiler. Um, anyways, so welcome back, y'all. So you guys arrive back in Waterdeep, and word of your return quickly spreads. And sure enough, they call for a council meeting, sooner than for immediate, uh, immediate action. So everyone sort of runs off to grab the lords and stuff to bring them into the council room. And before everyone can make their way in, Rianne Nightshade appears, and she comes up to you and says, "Ah, have you all considered my offer yet?"
what is
We
it?
have.
About the Zonthal's tower. She wants to buy it from you.
Oh, that's right.
We've decided to hang on to.
Ah, that is disappointing. I understand though. Sure can reconsider.
I think we can let you know if something changes.
Um,
Don't call us. We'll call you.
all right. Well, so be it. I'll see it inside the council chamber. I would still appreciate your backing in the negotiations while we uh negotiate our fee for assisting with this venture. I would hate to have spent all this time here for it to be for nothing.
On the word of money, what kickback do you propose?
Oh, I mean, I can't just pay you to for your favor. That would be
Unethical.
unseemly. However, I would be willing to pay more for that tower if uh, if you were amenable to selling it to me and did help during the negotiations. That'd be
Oh,
worth
I
something to
see.
me. But I'm sure I can make it worth your while in some way to if you just help with the negotiation part. We're all here to make a profit, aren't we?
No.
You're not wrong. Perhaps we could find an agreement.
I mean, profit takes all forms, but my people need gold, and I can't ask them to risk their lives without it. I'm sure you understand.
I sometimes too similarly.
Well, then I'm sure you can help me negotiate a fair price with the rest of those penny pinchers in there. But we shall. But we should really get in there. I'm sure they're waiting for us. And do you guys head in?
Sure.
Yep.
Okay. So they sort of gather around and they're like, "You've returned from Thay. I see you have Nye with you. Am I to assume that the negotiations went well?" Lady Silverhand leads. Don't all talk at
Yes.
once.
Yes.
No,
And
she leads with what?
she leads with that. That's the thing that she said.
Sorry, what was that? I feel like you cut out.
She's noticed that you guys have returned. You still have Nye Ilnich with you, and she's asking you if the negotiations went well.
Yes.
All right, so be it. We will. This is strange days that we have Thay sitting at our table, but uh, desperate times, she says. Um, and There's some grumbling and some dissent, but she quiets everyone's down.
Think not of it too heavily.
And
Regardless, you may believe that they would have their way of whatever they wish to do, one way or another. Is that not incorrect, Nye?
oh, of course. And we wouldn't do anything that you would find disagreeable. Just trying to take care of business, of course.
And on top of that, Nye, do you? I take it. You never do anything to harm any of the members of the council while you're under their
Oh,
care as a.
of course not. What could I even do myself?
I don't know.
I am
I just wanted to.
I am just the vessel for information, you see. Um, again, that is a true statement.
Cool,
Um,
cool.
there is some grumbling dissent, but Lady Silverhand quiets everyone down. She says, "Okay, well, we have other business to discuss. Um, Zonthel's Tower. It is full of resources. You all have laid claim to it. There might be value in it. Um, who would you have take charge of Zonthel's Tower? Or would you keep it for yourselves?"
What options do you propose?
She gestures to each of the representatives sitting at the table.
I speak not for the remainder of this party, those who actually have laid claim to it, but I do have an idea that may serve in everyone's best interest. Those who organize the host tower of the Arcane in Luskin may be a good fit for the tower. Not only would it give them a distant yet strategic location along the Sword Coast, but they have proven themselves to be more so than capable.
Anthar, who you may recall wasn't super on board with the Arcane Brotherhood to begin with, says, "Oh yes, give them more power. This is eh, that's exactly what we need." He seems somewhat displeased. Uh,
Agreeable. Of course, they don't have a gold dragon at their backs now, do they? It would be a shame to have them with something so valuable.
he kind of crosses and says, "You, it is your tower. Do with it what you will." Shen, Talia, and Evelyn. This is really up to you three. You are the ones who captured the tower.
Personally, I'd be willing to part with it to one of the council members, especially ones that disagreed with us meeting the Thay, or like allowing the Thay on.
So this is kind of like an appeasement type deal.
Well, it's more of a they seem less sketchy type deal.
Okay. So just as a reminder, Antharfroom was very much against having the having Thay at the table, as was Dellen Winterhound of the Emerald Enclave. Um, uh, Conrad Bronneval of Mithril Hall was very much against bringing Thay into this. Alder Ravengard of Baldur's Gate disagreed with this decision, and Sir Isteval also disagreed with this decision. So I just want to remind everyone of the factions at the table. There is Romelia Haventree of the Harpers, um, Antharfroom of the Order of the Gauntlet, Dellen Winterhound of the Emerald Enclave, Lady Silverhand of the Lords of Waterdeep.
Who is also a dragon, I think.
Nope, that was someone else. That was that was what was her name? Shit. It
I don't remember.
Never mind. My bad.
It's not Lady Silverhand. Dot Nevermember of Neverwinter. Um, Conrad Bronneville of Mithril Hall, King Melindratch of the High Forest, of the Elves of the High Forest, Alder Ravengard of Baldur's Gate, Taryn Hornblade of Silvery Moon and Sir Isteval, um, who really represents Cormier here.
Talia, Evelyn, do you have anything to say about that?
No.
We could always hold on to it, or just like allow everyone access.
Yeah, I mean, if giving too much power to one side is the concern, then we can just hold on to it, because if you guys can't play nice, then you're all going to have to be in timeout.
Is that the decision to give it to no one right now?
I think it should be used at least.
It might help.
It represents a significant boon to whichever faction you give it to, just so you know. One way or another, that information and the artifacts there will be useful.
Mm.
How many are there again?
There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different factions. Harper's,
Number
Order
8.
of Gauntlet. 8 would be Alder Ravengard
The
of
Emerald Enclave.
no,
He was against the threat.
Alder Ravengard of Boulder's Gate.
Oh.
He was one of the people who was against working with Faye.
Sure, I like him.
All right, so be it. He says, "Wonderful. We'll begin sending our scholars there immediately to start extracting resources and information, and that's what happens." Um, and Lady Silverhand kind of again perks up and says, "We've all waited long enough. It's time that we plan this assault. If you don't plan on pledging yourselves to this, now is the time to do so, to excuse yourself." And here's the part where I get to actually show you guys the fucking scorecard I've been working with this entire time.
Woohoo!
Yay!
So
Oh, this is
heroes.
ugly as fuck.
It sure is.
Yeah.
But you can all see this, right? There's pluses and minuses.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I even got like more shit on my screen because like I have the stuff there's a bunch of pluses and minuses on GM layers, and I've just sort of been bringing it. I've been bringing the stuff that came to fruition onto the token layer, but I still have all the GM layer stuff that's transparent slightly, so it's hard to read this whole thing. So we're gonna grab a 4 there. Grab.
At a tertiary glance, it looks like that we've got everyone's support.
Sure does. Yeah, you guys did good.
My entire point was just agree, and it'll solve itself out.
What is this supported by Istival? And we got everyone's plus on that, no matter how much I say the guy's a fucker. Whatever, cool.
They all think he's a cool guy, and he seems to.
Yeah, he can think he's a cool guy all he wants. He's a bitch.
Yeah. He's an influencer. This is the YouTube age, man.
He's basically the PewDiePie of the Sword Coast. That's basically it.
You can put that on your business cards. The PewDiePie of the Sword Coast. Nope. All right, we're just gonna. I don't even think any of you had negatives for any of this, even the last session here. This could have gone. I did all the math beforehand. Like going into this last session, I don't think there's anything you could have done that would have precluded you from winning here with full support. Which brings me to
Wait, we won Dungeons and Dragons?
We win.
We can
Well.
finally tell your grandma that we won Drunks and Dragons, dude. That's fucking awesome. We
Okay,
actually won.
So what you're saying is, I'm just seeing this as a golf scorecard right now. We're way over par.
Yep. You lost big time.
Shit.
All right. So with that in mind, 3, 6, 9, 13 down here. And you only needed 5. So guess what? The Harpers
there
are
we go.
in. That is 4, 9, 10 out of 7. Good job. You got the Order of the Gauntlet. 4, 5, 7, 8 out of 5. Got the Emerald Enclave.
14. It's 14, 14, 9, 12.
I mean, I did all the math beforehand. I know you got it.
Oh, I was just giving it to you.
Yeah. Also 12. 8.
14,
Yeah.
11.
And
We
11.
could have really fucked stuff up and still have been fine.
Oh yeah, the entire last thing we could have just been like, fuck you, fuck your
yeah.
mom, and oh, we'll help you still. Oh, well.
No
that's not-
draconic aid gained at second council.
As in, you did not specifically assign them a dragon.
Okay.
And they're salty about it.
Okay.
Assault
I didn't even
most
remember who Narrowvein is. I think that's the kid that
he
was
was
on the
King
Green Dragon.
Meldra's son, who was the green dragon person. Because he's a rebellious teenager and what have you. Okay,
Pretty much.
so yes, everyone pledges support. And what that brings us to this. Please refer to Discord, and you can all invited to check this out. I forgot. Negotiating for Zentarum. Do you guys do that?
Hold on. Do you have the Google Doc on screen?
I do.
Let's not. That's got full names on it.
Huh?
That's got full names on it. Like if we edit it, it'll show our full
Oh,
names
no,
on there.
I'm sorry. It's on the left monitor, which is not broadcasting.
Okay.
It's also anonymous, so
Right now, you're just icons at the top of the screen too. So I'm not.
Oh, it
Anonymous
is anonymous. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Do you guys try to negotiate Zentarum's cut here?
I mean,
I don't.
do we need them?
Do we want them?
Were the conditions to negotiate for them or to be successful in doing so?
Either way, the benefit would have been for them to throw us an extra kickback if we sold them the tower.
They sort of said that if you guys helped out, they would find a way to kick you back anyways, but they'd make it worth your while in some way, shape, or form.
Okay, I just want to be really clear here because this is something Giovanni would be very keen on. If I was to attempt, despite the rest of the party naysaying it, would there be a reward?
If they get hired and someone helped, they would see to it that you got.
Yeah, that's not going to
compensated.
happen. Okay, never mind.
They're valuable. I want to make that clear.
Yeah, but is it wise to have the murder cult be running around with an all-powerful tower that no one knows really what it does?
You guys already invited Faye to come hang out.
Yeah, that is the flip side, is that we did invite Faye. We are literally enlisting dragons, and as not saying this in character, as unfriendly as I am with the Zentarum, I do think they would be beneficial. I mean, that's like the least of the evils we've really got going around.
Well,
And
do we
that's
wanna
really
sell-
saying something when you talk about the Zentarum.
Now, do we want to sell them the tower then?
No.
We already decided what to
Then
do with the
I
tower.
don't think we have really much else we can
Yeah,
really
it's-
get them on side with. So
I
it's a
thought
one
that
or
they
the
said
other.
even if we weren't to sell them the tower, they would find a way to benefit us if they were hired. But
Yes, correct.
Well, in that
I
case, I'm not really seeing too terribly much in the way of.
that's fine.
I'm pretty sure Jake just wants to be the only one who can sneak attack. I'm against it. I don't think we need another person to fight against once we successfully divert team.
Okay, so what are we doing here?
All they want is a share of the treasure.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Everyone else is getting a share of the treasure.
Yeah, of course.
Ooh, are we switching alignments, Evan? Jake? I'm down. You just gotta
I've
let me know.
always been chaotic neutral, so there's no change here.
Okay. I'm against negotiating on their behalf.
Yeah, I got nothing really to spur
Does
me.
anyone does anyone have a horse in this race? Does anyone specifically not want their help or want their help?
I have no.
I
horse
don't
in
want
this
their
race.
help. I want their rewards.
Their rewards would be nice. However, look, if they don't help, we get their cut of the spoils.
But the spoils are hard to get, and we have no money in the meantime to do things like buy. Well,
I'm sorry, but we.
I was gonna say I
Hey,
need to
I
visit a
have-
bank, dude. I'm carrying like 120 pounds of platinum.
That's nice. I think I have 30 gold. I do have 30 gold, but I have a lot of silver to make up for it.
Okay. So you specifically don't want their help.
Abby, you're being awful quiet.
I don't care.
No, I do not think anyone is looking to obtain their help.
Okay.
But I won't go against them in negotiations either. Like I'll just be.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
like if the council wants their help, do what they want.
I think unless you guys are specifically going to impede this, that the council would eventually come to successful agreement with them.
Okay.
So with that being said, please refer to your Google Doc. These are all the assets you guys have. We're gonna go over some intelligence reports that Remelia Haventree kind of steps up and says that that she would like to review what they know about the cult assets. She starts working her way down the list. The cult leaders. There are a number of high-ranking cult officials. There are the worm speakers who we haven't captured. So you guys captured Varum the White. You captured Narrowvein. You have neutralized Resimir. But the blue worm speaker, the red Severin's the red worm speaker, and he's also the leader of this whole jazz. But the blue worm speaker, along with a number of high-ranking cult officials, will be leading the forces outside, around the Well of Dragons. I should also break this down. There's an interior component to the Well of Dragons. They have a temple set up there that they're using to try to resurrect Tiamat. These are all coming from intelligence reports from the Zentarum and from the Harpers. They have agents who have been watching forever, and they're pretty much the ones delivering this intelligence briefing. All right, so there's going to be a large exterior force, which is where a lot of this assault's going to be happening. And at the same time that the assault's happening, it's going to be your job to sort of slip inside and get to the heart of this whole thing and shut it down. So I have the things that are going to be outside marked under the cult assets there. So they have the cult leaders, the cult troops. There's going to be a lot of chromatic dragons flying around outside. They've recruited help from a number of devils. They have their own detachment of giants, and they have a large
A red
number of
wizard.
mercenaries. And the mercenaries actually make up the bulk of their fighting forces. So with that in mind, um, that's what you're gonna have to sort of deal with outside. Inside, um, Severin's going to be kind of leading the interior. Um, it's going to be kind of reading the ritual inside. They, the intelligence officers confirmed that Wrath Mordar has been resurrected and is leading a number of red wizards in doing the ritual. There's the actual building of the Temple of Tiamat. That if it was the building was disrupted, um, that would be a good thing. That would sort of inhibit the ritual. There's going to be a number of red wizards performing the ritual, and then Severin currently possesses the Mask of the Dragon Queen, which is all of the other masks put together, and that is essential to the ritual. Um, so basically, what your job here is to assign your friendly assets to kind of take care of enemy assets. So everything you assign to that stuff that's outside will sort of paint a picture of how the battle outside goes, and anything you assign to the inside, like to the inside things, the Severin, Wrath, the Temple of Tiamat, the Red Wizards, the Mask of the Dragon Queen, um, those will play a crucial role in neutralizing those things that you're actually going to see on screen, like literally on your battle maps. There's going to be some influence there. Does that make sense?
Fuck,
So
was giving the tower to the Arcane Brotherhood really an option? Shit.
you have
I
the
didn't
Arcane
realize.
Brotherhood. You guys secured their aid back when you rescued
Yeah.
what's her
What's
name?
What's her name? Yeah.
Oh yeah, good old what's her name? We all know her.
All
Yeah,
right,
totally.
let's assign shit. Let's go big first. What do we want to fucking fight chromatic dragons with? Can we assign multiple?
You can.
We also have dragons.
These things for the most part cancel out 1-to-1 if you assign a thing that can reasonably deal with that thing, it's just a 1-to-1 cancels out type deal.
I say that we assign Skyreach and the Metallics to deal with the chromatics.
All right, this is you guys can edit this. So
This is view only.
well, let me change that then.
Yeah, you need. Yeah, need to go into the access
How do I
sharing
do that?
options.
Oh, can view. Anyone can edit. How do I just change this? This is sharing. Link sharing. Give me a second.
If you back out of that, then I can request it. But or at least it would have let me a minute ago.
Sure.
What do we want on the chromatic dragon?
Edit.
Okay, so chromatic, we will go.
Oh yeah, you guys can do this now.
Don't we want 1-to-1?
The metallic dragons won't be able to single-handedly take on the chromatics.
Richard?
I think from an advisor standpoint, they would sort of step up and say, well, that's not necessarily true. They could, they're outnumbered. However, they are much better organized. They work together very much better. I mean, this isn't all going to be happening like in a bubble. Like, it's just going to be like, oh, they're primarily going to be focused on picking off other dragons, which might be a good idea. But, assign this as you will. I think you can make a case that the metallic dragons can handle. You can pretty well manage the chromatic dragons.
What do the training advisors of Baldur's Gate accomplish?
They're pretty like you'll notice that that Waterdeep and Neverwinter are going to conscript a large number of troops for this assault. They're very good at training up those conscripts into, functional fighters.
Are we assigning each do we assign the army of Cormyr to deal with one thing, or are all of the Lord's Alliance armies assigned to
They're
one?
more or less a single unit. If you think that there's something specific that they can, I mean, keep in mind you grabbed all parts of this. If you want to assign a specific detachment to go do a different thing, you can do that. Because you have a pretty strong overall force.
See,
Giants,
I was
giant.
almost thinking that Mithril Hall might be a good fit to combat the giants. The animosity between the dwarves and the giants are unmatched. Plus, they come with siege weapons, which would be beneficial upon or against large targets. We could also reassign Skyreach Castle to bombard the Temple of Tiamat.
That might be a good idea.
Or if we want to go just straight up stupid, we could have giants fighting giants. Just essentially a kaiju battle, but with giants.
Are
Like a really big battle. Like a giant battle.
Yes.
Are
What was
the
that?
Fae on this list, or I don't see them?
Hmm?
The Fae, the red wizards. Do we secure them? Are they on this list?
Yeah, they kind of just sort of said they were going to come in and assassinate things as they see fit. I'll give you a detachment of them because it doesn't actually well explain how that works. I'll give you, I'll give you a detachment of red wizards.
I think that the devils being combated by the Order of the Gauntlet would be wise.
Wait, there's red wizards on the cult assets.
Yeah, that's because they're with Wrath Mordar or Modar.
they're,
He was a red
Got it.
wizard. We kicked his shit in.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
Yeah, they've kind of defected, is the word. It's most appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
The Arcane Brotherhood also may be a good option against the giants.
Yeah.
Do we want to do the Lord's Alliance against the mercenaries because that's the biggest section? He was saying. Do we want to do the Lord's Alliance against the mercenaries because that's the biggest section?
It's up to y'all.
Let's go in order of what we want to deal with the least first. What? So, Mask of the Dragon Queen. Are we basically choosing someone to steal that?
You're selecting a group to try to secure it once it's in play, pretty much.
The Harpers, as much as I hate it. The Zentarum would be excellent for that. The Harpers are probably our best bet.
Yeah. They
How are the
good
Harpers
at
doing that?
sneaking.
With spies and agents. And
How are they
archers.
securing it?
Yeah.
That's what I would anticipate is that they'd be in there and be able to get in and get the mask out the easiest, not force their way in. I think that's what everyone else is for at this point.
Okay. I just want to make sure, I just want to hear your thoughts, and if it sounds reasonable, I'm pretty much going to give it a pass. I want to know.
That's what I was thinking. Everyone else here, we don't have either that or the elves of the high forest. Either of those, I think, would be the easiest to secure an individual item. I don't think that the agents of the Harpers will be valuable in hand-to-hand combat.
Hmm.
We can change this too, so we'll put it there for now.
Do we want to
Um,
watch red wizards attack red wizards? I don't know how.
I think that's a
Effective.
good bet. I think they're the only ones really able to combat each other. Like, I think we could put the Arcane Brotherhood against them, but I think that they'd be slaughtered. In fact, I think that's our only option against the Red Wizards, led by Rathmodar. Giants and mercenaries don't concern me. Cultist troops, cultist leaders. Severin and Wrath don't really bother me either. Do they have their respective dragons? Like, is that part of what we're determining, or is it just them?
Severin, you know that the intelligence reports that all the dragons are just kind of like out surrounding it. There's not really a big enough space. Severin doesn't stay near like his own personal red dragon the way that many of these other like the way that Narrowvein stays with his green dragon. Like he isn't buddy with a red dragon the way Narrowvein was with Chuth.
We could put the armies of the Lord's Alliance against the cultist troops. That does seem like a fine fit.
No, I think the mercenaries are more.
Yeah, Abby made a good point that the mercenaries actually represent the bigger bulk of like shock troopers. Like
Really? Okay.
Yeah, like the cult forces are like they're not as good fighters. And there's about as many cult troops as there are of the mercenaries, but like the cult troops are more focused on what's happening with the cult rather than like being on guard duty or fighting war, you know?
Should we put the Zentarin on the cult leaders to assassinate them?
We haven't secured their help. Doing so would require giving them the tower.
Yes. No. I was specifically asking if anyone was going to interfere with this negotiations. I think they reach agreement regardless. The Zentarim are going to get a share of
Oh,
the
fuck
spoils.
that then. Hold on. Let's give.
Yeah.
Let's, God,
I'd
I
say
don't want them to
2020.
have their hands on the Mask of the Dragon Queen.
I
I think that's bad.
They're not going to. You guys already promised that to the Metallic Dragons. That's like
Yeah,
outside of.
that's the problem, is that if they were to get their hands on that, I don't think we would ever see it out of the Zentarum vault again.
Well, we put the Harpers on that task, so
That's what I'm saying, is the Zentarum would be far better for it if we could guarantee they weren't going to walk off with it. I mean, that's just out of the frying pan into the fire if the Zentarum get the Mask of the Dragon Queen.
Well, you're having the Harpers secure. I'm not sure where the dissent's coming from.
He's just saying if he wants to switch it out, but he doesn't want to because he understands the problems that are associated.
So don't do that.
I think Kyle and I were both thinking that Zentarum would have been the ideal option to obtain the Mask of the Dragon Queen, but
yes.
with their
But I thought we agreed that because of their background, we weren't going to let them do that.
We didn't know we had them until 2 seconds ago.
Oh, Richard said we had them before.
It
I
literally
did.
said not yet secured on there.
I forgot to delete that.
So
I apologize.
okay.
I've actually had this document kind of prepared beforehand, so.
Sure. We'll put the Zentarum on the cult leaders. Fine.
Yeah, that could be good.
Giants on giants.
I think that's the most fun. I mean, makes the most sense.
I don't know who else we would put against them. I mean,
Look,
at least they'll keep each other busy.
Look, if it's
Dude.
like Skyrim, one of them will launch the other to space, and we just gotta hope that it's ours that are doing the launching.
Having
Dude.
treants against the cultist troops might be nice as well.
Hmm.
Sounds good to me.
And I would like to have those spellcasters come in with us, so I think that works
Yeah.
out.
I think when we saw Severin, did he appear to be a spellcaster or a
He's
fighter?
definitely
Does
a
anyone?
spellcaster. 1,000,000%.
I don't even remember him. Do
You
I have
haven't
like a
met him
picture?
before.
Didn't we just see him on the?
I'll give you the intelligence report. Or I'll give you like the I'll give you the handout here because I think it could have been described to you just fine. Here's Severin.
Oh, he looks like a bitch. All right.
You guys remember Wrath? I'll show you him.
I thought Severin was the kid, the one on the green dragon.
Nope, that was Narrowvein.
Where did we meet Severin?
You haven't.
Oh, Wookie.
Let's get these magic boys in, then.
Something happened here. What? Oh, fuck.
Looks like
Oh,
we're
so
taking on
there's-
Severin ourselves.
Oh, I would almost rather take on Wrath. I don't know. Do we have any intelligence as to what type of magic Severin wields?
Well, he looks pretty snaky, so the bad kind.
Wrath is a necromancer, which I'm not necessarily keen on fighting. Do we have any intelligence on Severin or no?
Hang on.
We literally know nothing about him, so assigning something, I mean,
Yeah.
we're taking a shot in the dark.
He does a lot of shit with fire because he's a fire boy. Hence his redness. Why he's the red. He's a fire boy.
Do we want to go fight some firebender, or do we want to kick Wrath Modar's ass again?
I mean, we could do both.
Yeah.
Where are we assigning the Arcane Brotherhood to, you guys? Done. I made the decision.
Okay. Cool. You have a battle plan. I will use this. And we will do some cool stuff with that. Alright, and with that, you guys are ready to go smash some faces. What are you doing? 4 excited people. Awesome.
Peels.
Peels here.
Alright, cool. With that, I will get, I'm gonna use all this, and, we're gonna do some cool shit. And we're gonna start doing this next week. Who's excited, guys?
Yay.
I am.
The final chapter. Okay.
I'm pretty psyched.
You are all now level 14, by the way.
Oh, Christ, I have a lot to...
Ta-da! I just got faster, stronger.
Last longer.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to stick at 12 because I didn't do shit on my character since. And I hate Milestone, but that's okay.
You're. I don't want you to get demolished. Like, I'm doing this because I think it's important that, like, you guys should actually be 15, but.
Yo,
We
fuck
could-
it, dude.
I mean, we could throw Geo to 15 and call it a day. The sun page is extra sunny.
I'm rolling my health, and I'm going to be taking 2 of whatever you rolled, Richard.
All right. Well.
So, Richard, roll 4 in the second and the fourth.
7. 7.
Cool. I'll take it. 6,
Damn.
7, 8, 7.
think you're gonna use mine on that one.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, now I'm at
7.
114 health.
Kyle, how many of mine are you gonna take?
Just one.
6.
Thank you.
I'm actually gonna end the stream now. We can keep managing all this.
Okay.
All right, we're
Goodbye,
totally going to
everyone.
go get cracking on this next week. Finale soon. Hooray!
Yay.
Bye, everyone. See ya.
Good night. Goodbye.